Chapter 3356. At the bottom of the sea, a seven-colored city appeared dazzling. Brother Lin, that's Ocean God City. It seems like they don't welcome us. Tian Lei Lai said to Lin Fei. Lin Fei chuckled. So what if they don't welcome us? His words were domineering. Many people had gathered outside Ocean God City. In fact, Lin Fei even saw a warring sea beast. Ocean God City wasn't strong, but with a warring sea beast, it was still a force to be reckoned with. Compared to the 5 warring sea beasts that Lin Fei had brought, Ocean God City's scale was really small. Young Master Tian Lei Lai, what are you doing in Ocean God City? Before they got close, someone shouted loudly. His voice was like waves, surging over and landing clearly in everyone's ears. Sky Marshall Island and Ocean God City didn't have a good relationship. Under normal circumstances, the two forces rarely interacted. Furthermore, no one would be happy about the current situation. We are here to visit Her Majesty. We have no ill intentions. Tian Lei Lai was more reserved and didn't dare to say too much. Visit? Many people shook their heads and despised Tian Lei Lai in their hearts. Who would pay a visit like this? Even the Ocean King wouldn't dare to do such a thing. For a moment, everyone didn't know how to answer. Young Master Tian Lei Lai, you can visit Her Majesty, but your warring sea beasts have to stop immediately. Our small Ocean God City can't afford such trouble. They didn't want the warring sea beasts to enter Ocean God City. No one could bear such a threat. Tian Lei Lai looked at Lin Fei with a bitter smile. He really couldn't make a decision on this matter. Lin Fei snorted coldly. A bunch of cowards. In the Ocean God Pagoda of Ocean God City, Hai Qingfeng was also sizing up the newcomers. He knew about Tian Lei Lai and the 5 Ocean Kings attacking Sky Marshall Island. The only thing he couldn't understand was why this young master was here. His gaze quickly fell on the warring sea beasts. The 5 warring sea beasts lined up in a row, looking domineering and shocking. No, that can't be right. Could these 5 warring sea beasts belong to the 5 Ocean Kings? But why would they allow outsiders to control the warring sea beasts? Are they crazy? Hai Qingfeng frowned. In his opinion, there must be a big problem, and it was a very big problem. However, His Majesty the Sea God couldn't figure out what exactly had happened. Do you think they will listen to us? Hai Qingfeng asked the generals behind him. The generals behind him were momentarily speechless. 5 war-type sea beasts. This meant that they were related to the 5 Ocean Kings. They really couldn't guarantee such a thing. Who asked the Oceanic God City to be so weak? I don't think they have the guts. The generals' answers were actually weak. They really didn't have the confidence. Let your sea god Majesty come out. I'm here to give him a big gift. If you miss this opportunity, your sea god Majesty will regret it. Lin Fei's loud and clear voice reverberated. Everyone felt a sharp pain in their eardrums. Their bodies trembled slightly, and their faces were filled with shock. Let His Majesty the Sea God go out? Everyone shook their heads slightly. This person was too arrogant. Didn't he know that His Majesty the Sea God rarely went out? Furthermore, he was going to see a human. If it was an Ocean King, it would be a different matter. However, it was definitely not a human. In the entire Tianwu continent, there were not many humans who could make His Majesty the Sea God go out to greet them. At least, this guy in front of them couldn't. How arrogant. He dares to say that he's going to give me a gift? Hai Qingfeng's anger was unquenchable. That human was way too full of himself. There was no way he would believe the words of the other party. Giving him such a huge gift? What a joke. Since when did the human race become so kind-hearted? Was it possible? That was absolutely impossible. Hai Qingfeng wouldn't fall for it. Tell them that if they dare to approach Oceanic God City again, they will be my enemies. They will be killed without mercy. Hai Qingfeng snorted coldly. His Majesty has said that if the 2 of you dare to approach again, You will be the enemies of Oceanic God City. A general of Oceanic God City stood out. Lin Fei shook his head slightly. How disappointing. His Majesty, the Sea God, really doesn't have much courage. No wonder he can't make a comeback under the Ocean King's suppression. With this kind of courage, he will be like that for the rest of his life. Tian Lei Lai nodded. His Majesty, the Sea God, is indeed timid. However, in Oceanic God City, his temper is not small. He will kill anyone who disobeys him. But in front of those Ocean Kings, he is pitifully timid. He is like a yes man. At first, Lin Fei was still thinking that it would be best if the other party could come out. Sigh, he's forcing me to make a move. Lin Fei sighed. Tian Lei Lai almost laughed. He wasn't shocked at all when he heard that. After interacting with Lin Fei for a period of time, he understood Lin Fei's temper. Lin Fei was a stubborn person. If you listened to him, that would be for the best. If you didn't, then congratulations, you would be out of luck. For example, the Sea God in Oceanic God City. Attack Oceanic God City. This time there was no need for Lin Fei or He Yuan to make a move. The 5 warring sea beasts heard the order and immediately attacked Oceanic God City. Their huge bodies were unrestrained underwater. They set off huge waves that crashed against Oceanic God City's defenses. Damn it! They're attacking! Activate the defenses immediately! The 7-colored rippling array formation instantly shone with dazzling golden light. The attack of the 5 warring sea beasts was very domineering. As soon as the attack began, everyone in Oceanic God City paled. Some ran. No one could calm down. How dare Tian Lei Lai attack? I'm going to destroy his Sky Marshal Island. Hai Qingfeng, who was inside the Oceanic God Pagoda, could no longer remain calm. That guy really dared to attack. As the 5 warring sea beasts attacked, the majestic Oceanic God City fell into a storm. The 7-colored array formation continuously released dazzling light. The array formation was about to reach its limit. Immediately arrange for the army to counterattack. Send experts to kill Tian Lei Lai and those 2 people. Hai Qingfeng was panicking, but he quickly gave the order. Your Majesty, if we send the army, we will be sending them to their deaths. That's 5 warring sea beasts. Your Majesty, please reconsider. The generals behind him all stood together. They only had one goal, and that was not to send the army. It was like smashing an egg against a rock. In the end, they would still be the unlucky ones. They absolutely could not do such a thing. You guys! Hai Qingfeng was sullen. How could he not know that sending the army would be sending them to their deaths? If he did not do that, he would have to wait for the 5 warring sea beasts to attack. If it was just one warring sea beast, Hai Qingfeng would not be so nervous. He could just pretend that he had a warring sea beast. Who didn't have one? Your Majesty, we think it's better to go out and meet that person, the generals said in unison. Chapter 3357. The Attack of the 5 Warring Sea Beasts. This brought great pressure to Sea God City. As the holy land of all sea tribe warriors, Sea God City was actually attacked one day. Furthermore, it was by 5 warring sea beasts. This immediately shattered everyone's thoughts of resistance. The rainbow array formation was gradually losing speed, and it was not long before it broke. As for Sea God City's counterattack, Sea God City had not retaliated at all. Would they dare? Of course not. No one could stop the attack of the 5 warring sea beasts. Any counterattack would be insignificant. When do you think they'll come out? Lin Fei said with a smile. Tian Lei Lai could not help but mourn for Sea God. He could have offended anyone, but he had to offend Lin Fei. They should be out soon. Tian Lei Lai laughed. Those generals aren't to be trifled with. They definitely won't allow this to continue. Don't think that His Majesty the Sea God can sit on the throne. Within Sea God City, His Majesty the Sea God has to rely on those generals. In less than 2 hours. Stop fighting. We're out. Stop. We're out. More than 10 figures flew out of Sea God City and shouted together, "It's those generals." Tian Lei Lai laughed. "The one in the middle is Sea God Hai Ching Feng. He's probably feeling helpless now. He's probably the only sea god who can be so incompetent. Ha 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 ha." Lin Fei laughed. "Isn't this good?" The 5 warring sea beasts stopped. The generals heaved a sigh of relief and could not help but blame Sea God. If they had known that Sea God Hai Ching Feng was so easy to deal with, they would have taken the initiative to come out. "All of you come out." Hai Ching Feng was indeed very sullen. But what could he do at this time? In Sea God City he was the sea god, and his words carried enormous weight. But only he himself understood that if he did not have the support of these generals, he was nothing. These generals were actually arranged by the Sea Kings to monitor him. "Your Majesty, you're doing this for the good of Sea God City. I believe that no one will say anything." A general said, "Let's go and meet them now. Maybe this matter will be resolved soon." "Is that so?" Hai Ching Feng did not comment. After opening the formation, Hai Ching Feng and the other generals flew toward Lin Fei. "You're finally willing to come out." "Not yet," Lin Fei said coldly. If it was before, these generals would definitely be angry, but now they didn't dare. After what happened just now, they could vaguely tell that the leader of the crowd was this black-clothed young man. "You want to see me?" Hai Ching Feng was still very arrogant in front of the human race. In the martial heaven continent, the sea race ruled. Even the human race had to live under their nose. Bang! Hai Ching Feng's vision blurred, and he was smashed to the bottom of the sea. His vision blurred, and his blood churned. He felt like he was about to explode. A hand reached out and pulled the man back. "If you dare to be disrespectful to my lord again, I don't mind slapping you to death." He Yuan's icy voice was filled with killing intent as he stared at Hai Ching Feng. The generals didn't dare to make a sound. The moment He Yuan attacked, his thick and terrifying aura pressured the generals so much that they couldn't breathe. Anyone who wasn't an idiot would understand that this was a powerful person. Hai Ching Feng didn't dare to speak. Lin Fei smiled. "Just stand there obediently. It's good for everyone. You're the sea god in name, so it's hard to respect you. However, I can give you a chance to be the sea god." The generals behind him couldn't help but change their expressions. They might be generals, but in the Sea God City, they were all domineering lords. They didn't take the sea god seriously at all. If it wasn't for his bloodline, he wouldn't be qualified to be the sea god of the martial heaven continent. Even if it was an empty title, not everyone had the right to be the sea god. "Sir, what do you mean by this?" The generals couldn't stay calm when it came to matters that involved them. "My lord said that you're all idiots." He Yuan snorted. "You generals can stand aside." Stand aside? How could they be willing? A strange look flashed across Hai Ching Feng's eyes. If possible, who wouldn't want to be the sea god? Lin Fei swept his gaze across the generals. The sea god is the ruler of the marine race. How can he be powerless? Therefore, I want to help this sea god become the real sea god. Then, you won't need to exist anymore. With a wave of his hand, a majestic force swept across their bodies. These generals were all experts. The marine race's physical bodies were extremely powerful, but under this sweep, their bodies collapsed and they died instantly. Ha ha ha, well done. These fellows deserve to die. Hai Ching Feng laughed loudly. Even though he wasn't the one who killed them, he could finally vent the anger in his heart when they died. With all the generals dead, even if there were a few left in the city, they wouldn't be a threat. Hai Ching Feng had never felt so relaxed before. Without the surveillance of the generals, he felt relaxed. He didn't need to worry about anything anymore. He could do whatever he wanted in the Sea God City. "Sir, what do you want me to do?" After laughing wildly, Hai Ching Feng lowered his head slightly at Lin Fei. No matter how stupid he was, He realized that this human who had killed more than a dozen generals was not someone he could fight against. Lin Fei was quite satisfied. This guy wasn't a blockhead. If he was really a blockhead, then it wouldn't be worth it. He didn't want to bring back a blockhead. I snatched these 5 war beasts from the Sea King of Qinghai and the others, Lin Fei said with a smile. Hai Qingfeng's heart trembled. At this moment, he finally understood why the 5 war beasts were here. It turned out that they had been snatched away, and the Sea Kings didn't dare to do anything after that. This meant that the 5 Sea Kings were suppressed by this black-robed man. This black-robed man had terrifying strength that no one could resist. Hai Qingfeng knew the temperament of the Sea Kings very well. "Sir, please come in." Hai Qingfeng took a deep breath and bowed, making an inviting gesture. This was a thick thigh. Did you say that Hai Qingfeng was arrogant? That depended on the occasion. The Sea God City was actually very beautiful. Lin Fei wasn't interested in admiring it for the time being. If it wasn't for the heavenly lightning split, he wouldn't have come here. Inside the Sea God Pagoda, Lin Fei sat on Hai Qingfeng's seat, while he stood in front of him obediently, not daring to breathe loudly. For some reason, there was an unbearable and terrifying aura in front of Hai Qingfeng. Chapter 3358. Hai Qingfeng had never thought that a big pie would fall from the sky. But this time a big pie really fell from the sky, and it was a very big pie. A powerful existence that could snatch the war beast from the 5 Sea Kings. Hai Qingfeng chose to join the Sea King. When he really joined the Sea King, Hai Qingfeng realized how correct his choice was. The Sea King didn't care about the position of the sea god at all, let alone the martial heaven continent. He wouldn't even care about the entire mare folk. Hai Qingfeng was so happy to hear this news. When he first heard it, he wondered if he had heard it wrong. How could there be such a good thing? And how could it happen to him? 3 days after Lin Fei entered the Sea God City, sea deity Hai Qingfeng released the news and sent an invitation to the 13 Sea Kings, inviting them to Sea Deity City in half a month to discuss an important matter. The Qinghai Sea King and the others were the first to receive the notice. The sea god was going to hold a meeting. Normally, the Qinghai Sea King and the others wouldn't care about it at all. That guy was actually a puppet, and no one would pay attention to him. But it was different this time. They had all heard of one thing. That person had gone to Sea God City. Ever since Lin Fei left, they had arranged for people to gather information. Lin Fei didn't hide anything and swaggered to the Sea God City, so it was hard not to know. "We have to go." After a discussion, the 5 Sea Kings decided to go to the Sea God City. They had to go. They didn't forget that person's words. If they didn't go now, who knew how much they would have to pay next time? 80 billion power of faith had almost made them bankrupt. If they had to do it again, they wouldn't even have to be Sea Kings anymore. Did Hai Qingfeng have the guts to invite them to the Sea God City? He didn't have the guts at all. Maybe it was that person behind the scenes, so they had to give him face. But to the other Sea Kings, this matter was a joke. That puppet wanted to discuss something important? Who gave that guy the guts to do so? As for the invitations that were sent over, they threw them to the side. As for arranging for people, they didn't want to do that. That person wasn't the real sea god. If it was the real sea god, they would definitely give him face. But this person was just an auspicious doll used to balance the merfolk. Half a month passed by quickly. The 5 Sea Kings were the first to arrive at the Sea God City. When they saw the 5 warring sea beasts at the same time, their hearts were bleeding. These were them, but now he couldn't even say a word. The 5 Sea Kings arrived at the Sea God City and were immediately arranged to stay in the VIP area. After settling down, they immediately came to visit Lin Fei. Their people in Sea God City quickly learned of the news. "You guys are quite early." Lin Fei smiled at the 5 Sea Kings. "I thought you guys wouldn't come." The 5 Sea Kings lowered their heads and wiped away their sweat. "Sir Lin, even if you gave us 100 guts, we wouldn't dare to come. We worship Sir Lin the most." No matter where it is, as long as Sir Lin says the word, we will definitely come. Not to mention that they did not know how to flatter. In fact, they were also very good at bootlicking. They were quite straightforward and shameless. Lin Fei waved his hand. You should be glad that you came, because I've decided to suppress those who didn't come. They dared to not give face to the sea god. What do you think? The 5 sea kings were on tenterhooks. After hearing this, they finally realized how lucky they were to come. I'm willing to open the way for the sea god to suppress the sea kings. Sea King Qinghai said loudly. The other 4 sea kings secretly looked down on Sea King Qinghai and immediately expressed that they would follow Lord Sea God to suppress the Sea King. They knew that with such a great god in charge, the remaining 8 sea kings would not have a good ending. Lin Fei was very satisfied. It's good that you can think that way. This time you guys will be the vanguard. The sea god held a meeting to discuss important matters, and in the end, 5 sea kings came. This result was a joke to everyone. The only thing they did not understand was why the 5 sea kings wanted to go to Sea God City. Was there something wrong with their heads? This was what most people were thinking. After the remaining 8 sea kings heard the news, they could only shake their heads. Join forces with the sea god? Stop joking around. The strength of the 8 sea kings was much higher than theirs. It was not something that the 5 sea kings could fight against. As for Sea God City, they did not have strength, so there was nothing to be afraid of. But half a month later, Sea God City announced a piece of news. As soon as the news came out, it was like a heavy bomb that shocked everyone. The 8 sea kings colluded to overthrow the marine race. I have decided to suppress you. It was a very simple sentence, but it was full of the smell of a crusade. They were going to fight. As soon as the news came out, many members of the marine race were dumbfounded. The puppet sea god was going to attack the 8 sea kings? What kind of joke was this? How could this happen? Before everyone could react, the army of the 5 sea kings gathered in front of Sea God City. No one could remain calm. The 5 sea kings were actually helping the sea god. No matter how they looked at it, it was very unbelievable. They're really going to fight. Is there something wrong with the 5 sea kings' heads? The remaining 8 sea kings are much stronger than them. Aren't they just courting death by joining forces? No one was optimistic about this encirclement. After the 8 sea kings heard the news, they secretly cursed the 5 sea kings for being shameless. They dared to join forces at this time. Did they really think that they could defeat them? They did not think that way. Regardless of why they joined forces, they decided to teach the 5 sea kings and the sea god a lesson. They were not obedient puppets, but dared to play such tricks. They cursed the generals who had arranged for this countless times. How could such a thing happen? They really did not know how to handle things. The news of the dozen generals being killed was immediately blocked, and the 8 sea kings did not have a chance to know. The 8 sea kings have gathered. The 5 sea kings are holding the sea god hostage. They are here to rescue him. The 5 sea kings are trying to overthrow the marine race. The 8 sea kings will join forces and tell the 5 sea kings to surrender. Don't struggle in vain. The 8 sea kings acted very quickly. They mobilized their army immediately. The Sea King personally appeared and led the army to join forces with the 8 sea kings. They charged over majestically. A huge battle was about to begin. Such a large-scale battle was really beyond everyone's expectations. 5 sea kings against 8 sea kings. In every aspect, the 5 sea kings did not seem to have an advantage. It was the same for the sea god. There was still a gap in strength. There was also a gap in the battle between the sea beasts. Everyone was even more curious. Who gave them the confidence? Was it the sea god, or had they invited reinforcements? Chapter 33:59. Above the sea, the 8 sea kings gathered together. The majestic oceanic tribe's army had already stopped. According to the information they had received, Hai Qingfeng's army was not far from them. So they stopped and waited for Hai Qingfeng's army to arrive. They wanted to defeat Hai Qingfeng's army. Even with the help of the 5 sea kings, it would not be enough. They're here. At the end of the sea, a black figure appeared. It was a huge oceanic tribe's army, and they also appeared majestically. Compared to the army of the 8 sea kings, the number of oceanic tribe's army was obviously much smaller, especially the 5 warring sea beasts at the front. The 2 armies faced each other. A great battle was about to break out. Hai Qingfeng's mind was also shaken. He had never thought that one day he would bring an allied army to attack the 8 sea kings. He secretly glanced at Lin Fei beside him and took a deep breath. He knew that he could definitely do it. He could make 5 sea kings surrender to him, let alone 8 sea kings. Hai Qingfeng, you're really bold. You dare to come and attack us? Who gave you the guts? Among the 8 sea kings, the Demon Mountain Sea King, who had the worst temper, shouted, "Impudent! My name is not something you can casually call out." Hai Qingfeng said angrily, "You 8 sea kings, why don't you bow when you see me? This world belongs to the oceanic tribe, not to you. I am your sea god, the god of all the oceanic tribe. You dare to ally together? This is a betrayal of the Oceanic Empire. I'll give you a chance now. Give up resisting and follow us to the Oceanic Empire. You will still be kings." With the support of a big shot, Hai Qingfeng became more confident. If it was before, he would not have dared to say such words. Ha 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 ha. The 8 sea kings laughed loudly, their eyes filled with disdain and mockery. "Your Majesty has become bolder. Do you really think that they can fight against us?" A shark tiger sea king laughed and looked provocatively at the sea king Qinghai and the other 4 sea kings. It was as if he was saying that even if they came, it would be useless. "Shark tiger sea monarch, I don't like what you just said. If you dare to make a move against His Majesty, then you are a traitor. It is perfectly justifiable for me to suppress you." Qinghai sea monarch said with a beaming smile, "Sea king of Qinghai, I can't believe you have the guts to say that. You're really regressing. Why don't you take a look at where you are? Instead of being the sea king, you chose to mix with Hai Qingfeng. You'll regret it very soon." Shark Tiger Sea King said coldly, "If I were you, I would immediately change my target. Our 8 families are not something you can deal with." The Sea King of Qinghai was not nervous or afraid at all. After today, these 8 sea kings would no longer exist. "That's not what you said. I think you'll be the ones regretting it." Lin Fei was not interested in the scolding. "Since everyone is here, let's begin and not waste any more time." The Sea King of the Qinghai Sea King and the other sea kings tensed up. Hai Qingfeng shouted as he unsheathed his divine sword. "The 8 sea kings are trying to overthrow the Ocean God Empire. They are traitors. Army, listen up. Attack and kill them." Boom! The army moved out. The 8 sea kings were infuriated. This Hai Qingfeng was really bold. He dared to put such a big label on their heads. Attack! The 8 sea kings decided that after capturing Hai Qingfeng, they would definitely let him know the meaning of regret. The Black Army collided with each other like a flood. Both sides began to fight. The scene was extremely shocking. Countless ocean god warriors joined the battle. As soon as the battle began, the 8 sea kings' side had the upper hand. Under the confrontation of the allied army, the 5 sea kings' side was clearly weaker. Even though they were at a disadvantage, it was not obvious that they were going to lose. The 8 sea kings revealed faint smiles. This situation was within their expectations. In terms of elites and experts who could compare to the 8 sea kings, they really wanted to know what Hai Qingfeng was thinking. "Hai Qingfeng, your allied army won't be able to hold on for long," Shark Tiger Sea King said with a smile. "I think it's better for you to admit defeat. Stop struggling. This is meaningless to you." Hai Qingfeng was very calm. If it was any other time, he would have definitely chosen to run away. However, this time he was exceptionally determined. Who will win and who will lose is still unknown. Hai Ching Fong snorted. Ching Hai Sea King, and the others were also very calm. What a joke! With this great god here, so what if the 8 Sea Kings joined hands? The result was already decided. Since this great god didn't say anything, they naturally wouldn't do anything. Lin Fei casually glanced at the fighting army. He couldn't help but admit that the 8 Sea Kings' army was very elite. They had the advantage in all aspects. Even though they were showing a bit of an advantage now, it would soon become bigger. It's time for me to put on a show. Lin Fei narrowed his eyes. Seal. A huge wave of power instantly enveloped the entire sea. No matter who it was, they were all enveloped at this moment. Their strength immediately dropped. Their cultivation levels also dropped. Ha ha ha, he can't hold on anymore. Kill. Kill them all. The ocean god warriors could clearly feel that their opponent's strength was inferior to theirs. They all shouted and started to counterattack. The situation quickly became one-sided. Half of our strength has been sealed. What kind of treasure is this? The expressions of the 8 Sea Kings changed. Half of their strength had mysteriously been sealed, and their realm had dropped. They were completely different from before, and it was impossible for them not to change their expressions. Damn! Hurry up and capture Hai Ching Fong! Seeing the army falling to one side, the 8 Sea Kings could no longer sit still. They urged their war sea beasts to act. Their minds were filled with the thought of this treasure that could seal the realm of others. How frightening was it! Only a true cosmos god could do it. All of you should be suppressing a bellyful of anger. Now you can go out and relax. Lin Fei chuckled at the 5 Sea Kings. Shark Tiger Sea King, we can settle our old debts. Ching Hai Sea King was the first to charge out. Me too. The 5 Sea Kings were already unhappy with the 8 Sea Kings. Now that such a good opportunity was presented to them, they would be fools not to act. Your Majesty, what about you? Hai Ching Fong actually wanted to go, just that he did not have the guts. He said gratefully, "Many thanks, Sir Lin." He took his sword and flew out. After half of their strength was sealed, the 8 Sea Kings could not even protect themselves. They could not fight against the 5 Sea Kings. It was a one-sided situation. Their strength was not on the same level. How could they fight? Within a few moves, they were beaten until their heads were bleeding. Fortunately, their fleshy bodies were strong, and their injuries were recovering rapidly. Hence, they were being abused by the 5 Sea Kings. His Majesty Hai Ching Fong was not polite either. He was truly suppressing his anger. The moment he vented it out, he became extremely violent. He began beating up one of the Sea Kings. At this moment, he was no longer a sea god. The 8 Sea Kings had powerful bodies. They could not die instantly. They could only be beaten up. Chapter 3360. The alliance of the 8 Sea Kings ended in failure. After their strength was sealed, they could not break free from the special seal. After their strength was sealed, they could not withstand the attacks of the 5 Sea Kings at all. When the oceanic species forces that came to watch the battle saw this scene, their minds went blank. Everyone knew that the Tianwu continent was going to undergo a huge change. From now on, the Poseidon Empire would probably be consolidated. From now on, the era of the independent Sea Kings would be over. Who would have thought that the Poseidon would really unify the empire? They were also deeply afraid of the Poseidon's mysterious methods. The Poseidon had always shocked the world the moment he made his move. The Poseidon Empire was really unified. After the 8 Sea Kings were captured, Hai Ching Fong the Poseidon led his army and swept through the territories of the 8 Sea Kings in less than half a month. At this point, the forces of the 8 Sea Kings were uprooted. The 8 Sea Kings were also placed under house arrest. Very soon, the Poseidon Empire announced the first thing. The Sea God Empire would strip them of their Sea King status. There were a total of 8 Sea Kings who had been stripped of their positions. Everyone assumed that the other 5 Sea Kings would also be stripped of their positions. However, another piece of news came out. This news was shocking. The 5 sea kings who had supported the meritorious service were appointed as the 5 great generals of the Poseidon Empire. At the same time, they were rewarded with a larger territory. This was completely unexpected. Before this news ended, another piece of news came out. Not only did the Poseidon appoint 5 great generals, but he also appointed a 6th great general, who was the young master of the Tianwu Island, Tianlei. This news was quite shocking. Who would have thought that a human could actually obtain the position of a great general? For a moment, everyone did not know what the Poseidon wanted to do. Since when could a human obtain such an important position? Everyone could see that the position of great general was not just for show. It was a position with real power. Brother Lin, are you really going to leave? Tianlei was really grateful for Lin Fei's help and the position that he had brought. This place is too small, Lin Fei said with a smile. You're a general now, so don't disappoint me. I believe that for a long time that person will be very obedient and won't dare to act recklessly. Tianlei had never thought that he would become the great general of the sea race. Not only did he have a huge sea territory, but he also had an army of the sea race. He was a real great general. After the news spread, all the human factions that had kicked him while he was down came to Heavenly Marshall Island to apologize. Xiao Chen could not be bothered with them. They were just a bunch of opportunists. Thunder Rend knew very well that this was brought to him by Lin Fei. If it weren't for Lin Fei, he wouldn't even dare to think about his current position. Knowing that Lin Fei was going to leave, even though heaven split, Thunder knew that this day would come. It was much earlier than he had expected, and he was not used to it. Brother Lin, don't worry. I will definitely hold this position of great general. Tianlei nodded vigorously. No one can take it away from me. Lin Fei patted Tianlai's shoulder. See you next time. Lin Fei stood on the war beast and rode the wind. The Marshall Heaven continent's remaining warring sea beasts had all been taken away by Lin Fei. A total of 14 war beasts were now in Lin Fei's hands. It would be difficult for others to control them, but it was not a problem for him at all. Even though they did not have much intelligence, they were the best to be used as the vanguard. The Star River Prefecture was not like this place. Lin Fei was definitely right to be careful. Even if he had accumulated more than 1 trillion prestige points, he had to use it sparingly. The passage to the Sky Marshall continent was in a very remote place. Lin Fei could easily find it. Compared to the previous passage, this passage was even more dangerous. It took him a full 10 years to traverse it. I'm finally out. 10 years. Lin Fei continued to traverse the passage. During this time, one of the 14 war beasts had died. Others might be able to traverse slowly, but Lin Fei was able to charge straight through. It wasn't surprising that a war beast would die. After all, once these war beasts left the sea, their strength would be affected to a certain extent. For example, in terms of defense, they would be much weaker. Lin Fei really did not know what to say about this. Collect. The remaining 13 war beasts were all stored in the system storage. Lin Fei began to size up the place in front of him. What he saw was a barren area with no end in sight. There was a desolate aura everywhere. The wasteland of death is indeed real. Lin Fei, who had good eyesight, saw many skeletons covered in mud, and related memories surfaced in his mind. According to the information, the people living in the wasteland of death are either bandits or some extremely vicious fellows. If one wants to survive in this place, one must possess valiant strength. Otherwise, one will easily turn into a pile of bones. Lin Fei took a light step. His body sank slightly, but the ground did not split apart. Master, this is a true cosmos world. The ground here is incomparably hard, and ordinary strength cannot break through it. It is the same for space. Hey, Yuan reported in a low voice. Lin Fei tried it. Indeed, the ground was hard. Even with the strength of a cosmos god, he could only leave behind a small pit. Just thinking about it was unfathomable. It is indeed a mysterious place. This is the weakest part of the cosmos world. Only after reaching the core would Master discover how different the cosmos world is. He Yuan said. Lin Fei was quite looking forward to this cosmos. Let's go. Walking on the wasteland of death. Lin Fei gradually felt the difference. Firstly, there was a supreme willpower enveloping the world. For instance, tearing the void with his bare hands had become extremely difficult. There was a powerful force resisting him. He could not break the void with a punch, and neither could he reach the end of the world. Lin Fei realized that the Saint Spirit Great Continent was a complete and incomplete continent compared to the outside world. This cosmos is quite interesting. Lin Fei had always been suppressed by the willpower of the world, making him feel uncomfortable. Instead, He Yuan had a relaxed expression. Master's fleshy body is powerful, and many can't reach this stage. Those who can fly in this cosmos must be cosmos gods or rely on some unique flying treasures. He Yuan explained, if Master wishes to disregard the willpower of the world, he has to become a cosmos god. Only by obtaining its recognition will the willpower of the world not target you. It's a pity that things are different now. It is very difficult to become a cosmos god in this cosmos. He lightly shook his head. Lin Fei was not anxious about becoming a cosmos god. With the support system and the fleshy body of a cosmos god, there was nothing for him to worry about. Are you familiar with this place? Lin Fei asked. The wasteland of death was huge. The two flew for a long time, yet they could not see a single city. Everywhere was filled with a desolate aura, and it was not a place where humans could live. Chapter 3361. Dark City. It was also known as the Chaos City. Those who could live here were either powerhouses who couldn't make a living in the Star River Prefecture or were wanted for doing something big and being arrested. Here, the Star River Prefecture did not care about them. They basically turned a blind eye to the powerhouses that escaped. The city master of the Dark City was also a formidable master. He had recruited several cosmos god experts and was considered an overlord of a region. There were many experts in the Star River Prefecture, yet they were not willing to fight with cosmos gods. Reaching the cosmos god level, every single one of them could destroy a minor world. Under normal circumstances, cosmos gods rarely acted. The moment they acted, they would be easily affected by the shock waves. Nobody was willing to see that happen. The Star River Prefecture was a prefecture under the Eternal Church, and other cosmos gods did not dare to offend it. Thus, the Dark City became a unique place. And today, an esteemed guest came to the city master residence of the Dark City. When this guest came, the city master of the Dark City, Luo Junting, personally came out to welcome him. He gave the other party sufficient face. Luo Junting was a cosmos god expert, and there were few who could make him welcome them personally. But this guest in front of him had to come. The background of the other party was too huge, so huge that he, a cosmos god, did not dare to offend him. The reason why the Dark City could continue existing was because he knew how to do things. One should not think that a cosmos god was amazing. He was nothing in front of those people. Furthermore, he was merely at the first step cosmos god realm. Guard Captain Bai, this is the Sky Mountain God Lotus I bought from an auction. It tastes quite good. Have a taste. Luo Junting ordered someone to bring tea over. He took the initiative to pour the tea while speaking. This is good stuff. I'm really lucky today. Bai Luoyang chuckled. He lifted the teacup and took a sip. The taste is really good. Luo City Master is really willing to spend. Luo Junting carefully greeted him. After chatting idly, Bai Luoyang took out a recording stone. This time, I came to let you inform your subordinates to capture this person the moment they discover him. It would be best if he is captured alive. Luo, Genting hurriedly said, Guard Captain Bai, it is just a single person. It is fine if you arrange for your subordinates to come down. Why the need to come personally? Unless this person has some huge background. Guard Captain Bai was the second in command of the Star River Guard. The Star River Guard monitored the entire Star River Prefecture. If anyone was targeted by them, it was basically over. If they offended the Star River Prefecture, they might be able to live. But if they offended the Star River Guard, even 10 lives wouldn't be enough. Bai Luoyang laughed. This person doesn't have any background, but he killed a young master of the Li family. The Li family's anger will not be appeased, understand? Luo Genting suddenly came to a realization. A young master of the Li family had been killed. Even though it was his main body, he still had a clone. However, that was still a slap to the face of the Li family. You have to know that the Li family is a top-notch family in the Star River Prefecture. At the same time, they have people in the Star River Guard. Who would dare to slap the face of such a top-notch family? Don't worry, Captain Bai. I will take care of this matter. If that person dares to come to the wasteland of death, I will definitely send him to the Star River Prefecture. Of all the people he could have offended, he had to offend the Li clan. Luo Genting said righteously. When Captain Bai left, he received a token of goodwill from Luo Genting and left in satisfaction. The people of the Star River Guard are really good-for-nothings. They are the most straightforward when it comes to taking things, but when it comes to doing things, they act like lords. After Bai Luoyang left, a young man came in while cursing. Shut up! Luo Genting shouted. If I hear you again, you will face the wall for 100 years. The young man opened his mouth. I was just ridiculing you. You can't even ridicule me. Are you planning to drag Darkness City into the flames of war? Luo Genting was exasperated with this younger brother of his. The Star River Guard is not something you can talk about. The person who came in was Luo Genting's younger brother, Luo Junlin, a blabbermouth who couldn't hide anything. Weren't you chasing after those people? How did you find the time to come back? Luo Genting decided to change his method. He was afraid that he would lose control of his temper. Luo Junlin also knew what his big brother was afraid of. He was just unhappy. Big brother, I just received a big piece of news. As long as this deal is done, it will definitely be a big deal. Did you know that there is a guy with tens of millions of faith energy who will appear in our territory? It is said that he also has a powerful spatial defense treasure. Luo Junlin said excitedly. Hundreds of billions of faith energy? Luo Genting didn't really care about this, but he was very interested in the universal spatial treasure behind. This is a big fish. Where did you get this news from? This is the appearance of that person. Big brother, you better arrange for people to keep an eye on those checkpoints. Otherwise, we won't know when he comes in. Luo Junlin took out a recording stone. He was also very interested in such a big fish. After opening the recording stone, he frowned. He seemed to have seen this person before, but he couldn't remember for a moment. Very soon he remembered. It's him. Luo Genting took out another recording stone. The figure inside was almost the same. Good fellow, it is actually the same person. He is quite daring to kill someone from the Li clan. Now he even brought a supreme treasure. Unless he got it from the Boundless World Mountain. Others might not know, but he did. That Li clan young master was killed by someone in the Boundless World Mountain. Furthermore, this was spread by a protector, and the credibility was high. Immediately arrange for people to search for this person. Once we find him, we must not alert him. On the wasteland of death, Lin Fei and Black Yuan were flying in the sky. During this period, they did not meet anyone. Just as mentioned, only cosmos gods could fly in the sky. Others could not do it at all. Calculating the time, we should not be too far away. Lin Fei didn't like this place. The aura in the world was suppressing, and it felt extremely uncomfortable. Not long later, a huge black figure appeared. What else could it be other than the Dark City? Let us go down. Lin Fei descended. If they continued flying, it would be too high profile. It was impossible for them to survive in the wasteland of death for such a long time without any relation to the Star River Prefecture. Lin Fei remembered that he had killed the young master from the Star River Prefecture Li clan. Perhaps the other party might be hunting him down. It was better to understand the situation first. Furthermore, one had to pass through the Star River barrier from the wasteland of death to the Star River Prefecture. Currently, Lin Fei was clueless about the Star River Prefecture. Without a clear understanding, he would not easily enter. The Dark City was a good place to understand the situation. As that huge city became more and more obvious, there were more people on the wasteland. They were all in groups of 3 to 5, and this was the minority. The majority of them were in groups of a dozen or more. Their gazes were unfriendly. Chapter 3362. Very soon, Lin Fei and Black Yuan were targeted by others. In the Dark City, everyone would form groups when traveling because it was a chaotic world outside. When everyone saw Lin Fei and Black Yuan, they immediately realized that these two fellows should be newcomers. There were few people here, and if something were to happen, they would have to be an ultra-strong expert. But would ultra-strong experts appear in such a place? That was something impossible. They were certain that these two newcomers would be eaten alive. Did they not know that it was even more chaotic outside the Dark City? There were no rules here, and only strength mattered. At one moment, they could sit together, and at the next moment, they could start fighting. Precisely because of this, the Dark City became a place of refuge. Even the Star River Prefecture would rarely come here unless you committed a huge crime. Kill! Not long later, more than a dozen experts acted. First, they used an array to trap them. Next, they sent out poisonous creatures. It was truly an efficient killing method, and it was not hard for them to defend against it. Lin Fei and Black Yuan were both ultra-strong experts. They did not need to do much to turn the dozen experts into corpses. Such ambushes did not happen once. Along the way, there were 7 to 8 waves of attacks. Every wave seemed as though they were certain that they would be eaten alive, leaving behind only a corpse in the end. Do we look easy to bully? Lin Fei looked at the corpses on the ground and mocked himself. Perhaps they saw that we have fewer people. Black Yuan said. Lin Fei completely believed that this was a paradise for evil people. They dared to act because they had fewer people. If it were another person, he would not be able to survive here. He might not even be able to enter the Dark City. After experiencing more than a dozen waves of ambushes, Lin Fei and Black Yuan arrived at the Dark City. It was a huge city, shrouded in darkness. What a great array! Even cosmos gods can't break it. Lin Fei squinted his eyes as he sized up this dark, cloud-like array. Under the envelopment of the array, this region became extremely dark, fitting the name of the Dark City. With this array, ordinary cosmos gods would find it hard to take down the Dark City. Black Yuan said, by relying on this array, their strength will explode. Such an array isn't something anyone can construct. Lin Fei naturally felt it. The entrance fee is 100,000 power of faith. At the city gate, a tyrannical guard threw out a card. With this card, you can stay inside for a day. If you want to continue staying in the city, you have to pay a fee of 10,000 power of faith every day. If you don't have the power of faith, we don't mind throwing you out. 10,000 power of faith a day, 300,000 faith energy a month? Lin Fei was truly impressed. With such a charging model, not many people would stay for a long time. Within the City of Darkness, Lin Fei and He Yuan had just entered. A fight broke out on a street. A few people surrounded and attacked a single person. That person's strength wasn't ordinary, but he was quickly hacked to death. Everything on his body was stolen, and a corpse was left behind. The people on the street all looked as if they were used to it. Clearly, such incidents were not uncommon in Darkness City. Master, this is how the City of Darkness is. If anything goes wrong here, a fight will break out. It's either you die or I die. It's extremely cruel. Lin Fei and He Yuan soon found an inn to stay in. This cosmos god, He Yuan, personally went out to scout for information. He spent 3 days before he had a rough understanding of the situation in the City of Darkness. Lin Fei had always been staying in the inn. For convenience, he rented a courtyard to prevent others from disturbing him. The price was not cheap. A single courtyard required 800,000 power of faith a month. There was no news regarding him in the City of Darkness. Lin Fei felt relieved. Clearly, the Li clan could not afford to lose their face and did not arrange for people to deal against him. That time they sealed everything. Even though Lin Fei was confident, it did not mean that this matter could not be broken by other experts, and eventually found him. This City of Darkness is still quite capable. It has always been protecting the villains from the Star River Prefecture and other places. Lin Fei chuckled. He drank a mouthful of tea. Who says it isn't? He Yuan chuckled. But this City of Darkness is very powerful. That cosmos god Luo Junting is said to be an abandoned disciple of a religion. This great array came from that religion. In the City of Darkness, he is the #1 expert. Other than Luo Junting, there are 3 other cosmos gods in the City of Darkness, but they are all pseudo-cosmos gods. They have all consumed pills and have yet to obtain the recognition of the cosmos. Their bodies did not form a world and obtain cosmos energy. He Yuan said with disdain. Lin Fei had some understanding of cosmos gods. A true cosmos god had to obtain the recognition of this cosmos. Once the cosmos recognized them, their strength and other aspects would explode. At the same time, they could use the cosmos energy, reaching the state of returning to one's origin and reaching a whole new level. As for pseudo-cosmos gods, they had all consumed pills and could not improve any further in this lifetime. What they used were the most basic techniques of cosmos gods. These ordinary techniques were more than enough to deal with experts at the hierarch realm. Even though consuming pills had no future, there were still many hierarch gods who wanted to consume pills to become cosmos gods. There were 3 pseudo-cosmos gods and 1 true cosmos god in the City of Darkness. Their strength was relatively extraordinary, and even the Star River Prefecture had to treat them seriously. Nobody dared to underestimate the strength of a true cosmos god. Oh, right, Master. I've also heard of something. There is a place called the Limit Arena in the City of Darkness. According to hearsay, whoever could get to the end would obtain a supreme treasure left behind by a peak cosmos god. Rumors say it is a cosmos crystal piece, but I wonder if it is true or false. He Yuan thought of something. Cosmos crystal piece? Lin Fei was startled. He could even encounter such a good thing. What is the origin of this peak cosmos god? He Yuan explained. I've heard of this peak cosmos god being an extremely famous cosmos god in this cosmos. He had always done things that broke the limit. Every time he cultivated, he would raise his realm to the limit, suppressing all opponents at the same level. It's a pity that his power broke through the limit of cosmos god, and he died in meditation. The limit arena was created by him. Lin Fei was quite surprised that there was such a cosmos god. Limit? This word was not something that just anyone could say. Using it as a name meant that this person was extraordinarily domineering. Is the possibility high? Currently, he had 3 cosmos crystal pieces. Lin Fei naturally wanted to get 10 of them. The possibility should be high. This peak cosmos god is famous and he would not lie. He Yuan said, Master can give it a try. Lin Fei was indeed interested in this cosmos crystal piece, one that strived to break the limit. It was quite interesting to set up a limit arena. Is there no one who could get through? Lin Fei asked curiously. Chapter 3363. The Limit Arena. Located within the Dark City's Martial Dojo of Limits. The Martial Dojo of Limits was created by the ultimate cosmos god. Even if that person was no longer around, nobody dared to have any thoughts about the Martial Dojo of Limits, because the current second leader of the Martial Dojo of Limits was a pseudo-cosmos god expert. Within the Martial Dojo of Limits, as long as one did not leave, even a true cosmos god would find it hard to defeat the other party. After all, that ultimate cosmos god was extremely powerful and had surpassed the limits time after time. Nobody at the same level was his opponent. Nobody dared to offend this ultimate cosmos god. Even if he died, who knew what killing move he would leave behind? Even cosmos gods would have to weigh the pros and cons. Master, it's here! In front of a huge structure, Lin Fei and He Yuan stood in front of the structure. Lin Fei cared a lot about the cosmos crystal piece. The feeling of being suppressed by the will of the world was extremely uncomfortable, especially for someone like him, who was infinitely close to the cosmos god level. That feeling was magnified. I can feel a tyrannical willpower within. Whoever dares to act recklessly in this structure will definitely suffer a huge loss. Lin Fei squinted as he carefully experienced it. The ultimate cosmos god was extremely famous in the past. He Yuan said, he broke through the limit every single time, but it's a pity he couldn't. Let us enter. Within the Martial Dojo of Limits, it was filled with people. Just as Lin Fei and He Yuan entered, waves of voices could be heard. That was excitement, agitation, and other emotions contained within. This was a place entirely different from the outside world. Such a formidable fellow. He went up another level. Who knows, he might be able to break through the 100th level. The possibility is huge. There are still 5 levels left, and it will be the 100th level soon. Once he reaches the 100th level, he would be able to get the reward left behind by the ultimate cosmos god. How exciting! The Martial Dojo of Limits was huge. Lin Fei could easily see a small independent spatial zone at the center. Within the small spatial zone, there was currently a young man fighting with a black-armored soldier. They were exchanging blows, and it was extremely intense. And outside, there were many people cheering and shouting. That is the limit space. There are 1,000 levels inside, and you can get the reward from the cosmos god after reaching the 100th level. You can also choose not to go. You can continue accumulating until the 100th level, and the reward will be even better. Lin Fei didn't go up again. He could see, clearly. In the small space, the young man encountered 5 black-armored soldiers. These black-armored soldiers held sharp blades in their hands, and all of them attacked at close range. Saber light crisscrossed, and saber intent covered the sky and earth. That young man was also quite powerful. He had a treasure protecting him and held a long sword in his hand, displaying a powerful sword technique. He continuously sent the black-armored soldiers flying, but he was unable to defeat them. What a powerful black-armored soldier! Lin Fei was slightly moved. Not only is he strong, but his defense is also strong. At this moment, a plump middle-aged man not too far away said, "That's natural. These are ultimate puppets created by Sir Cosmos gods. It is hard to defeat them." An ultimate puppet. What an apt name. The battle in the small space soon ended. After the young man was defeated by the ultimate puppet, the small space automatically teleported him out. The young man who was standing outside had a look of lingering fear on his face. "I still can't do it. I have to go back and cultivate properly." The young man shook his head, and his gaze became firm. "Next time, I'll definitely be able to rush to the 100th level." He turned around and left. Many people sighed. Such a situation would happen almost every day in the Extreme Martial Dojo. Ever since the Extreme Martial Dojo opened the Extreme Arena to the public Many people came here to temper themselves. This place had also become a unique place in the Dark City. Many outsiders would even come here out of admiration. Firstly, they wanted to experience the meaning behind the extreme arena. Instead, they wanted to see if they had the chance to obtain treasures left behind by a cosmos god. Many young geniuses would still attempt to challenge the 100th step. Over the years, the number of geniuses who could reach the 100th level could be counted with one's fingers. Even so, there was still an endless stream of people coming here. Many villains in the Dark City loved coming here to temper themselves. It's a pity that this place did not allow cosmos gods to enter, and many cosmos gods had this thought: "Master, why don't you give it a try?" The 1000th level did not pose any pressure to Lin Fei. He could not do it, but he had the support of the system, prestige. Lin Fei did not plan on staying for a long time here in the Dark City. Coming here today was actually to see if there were any cosmos crystal chips. Such an opportunity was not so easy to come by. Make way, make way! Just as Lin Fei was prepared to go up, behind them, a group of people rushed in. This group of people had their chests puffed out. They were extremely tyrannical as they chased others to the side. And behind them was a noble prince. He was elegant and elegant. To the left and right of the noble prince, there were two black-robed men. Their faces could not be seen clearly, but they gave off an immense pressure. Who is that? So overbearing. He seems to be the prince from the Zhao clan of the Star River Prefecture. Prince from the Zhao clan! Many villains present inhaled a mouthful of cold air. Those who were previously grumbling shrunk their necks. My clan's prince wants to challenge the stage. The lackey moved quickly. A manager of the extreme arena recognized the other party. He could not help but reveal a look of respect. Prince Zhao, coming to our extreme martial dojo, is truly honored by your presence. The moment this person said that, everyone knew that this was a noble person. A true noble person. The two black-robed men behind the noble prince were unquestionably the Dao protectors. The noble prince had a warm smile on his face. It was like a gentle breeze blowing past. Everyone stood to the side. Who dared to obstruct the arrival of the prince from the Zhao clan? The Zhao clan was a top-notch clan in the Star River Prefecture. Just by looking at the Dao protectors behind them, one would know where they came from. I am very interested in the extreme arena. The noble prince did not speak much. With a single sentence, the manager understood his intentions. I'll immediately open the extreme martial dojo. Please wait for a moment. The extreme arena soon reopened. Everyone could not help but look forward to the appearance of Prince Zhao from the Star River Prefecture. This was a true genius, rumored to have the ability to survive in front of a true cosmos god. As for whether it was true or not, nobody knew. Prince, the extreme arena has reopened. You can enter now. The manager said, Prince can be rest assured. There won't be any danger inside. The moment you lose, you will be automatically teleported out. The extreme puppet will also stop there. Prince Zhao nodded. He took a big step into the extreme arena. The first level. An extreme puppet appeared. This Prince Zhao waved his hand, causing the extreme puppet to disintegrate. Chapter 3364. He is indeed a genius from the Zhao clan. He is so powerful, destroying an ultimate puppet with a wave of his hand. That's not something anyone could do. This person should be able to reach the 100th level easily. Everyone present could tell that this young Master Zhao was much stronger than what they imagined. The moment young Master Zhao acted, they could tell that he was much stronger than what they imagined. They had a deep understanding of how powerful an ultimate puppet was. Destroying an ultimate puppet with a wave of his hand was not something that could be achieved with just strength. It required a certain level of technique, and this was something they knew they were inferior to. After the first level, this young master, Zhao, displayed a powerful strength. killing all the obstacles along the way. He reached the 100th level. He was much faster than the previous one. From the start to the end, he had only used a single move. There was not a single ultimate puppet that could force him to use a second move. Too fast. I wonder if he can reach the 200th level. The possibility is high. Young Master Zhao was very strong. After the 100th level, he did not collect his reward. Instead, he continued, "This young Master Zhao is very strong." Lin Fei felt that his cosmos god body was strong, but this person was not any weaker than him. From the start to the end, he had only used his fleshy body, and the technique he displayed was amazing too. Although it looked like a light wave, the energy was concentrated and not scattered, allowing him to unleash a perfect strength. He is indeed very strong. He Yuan nodded. And this energy seems to be sealed and has not been completely undone. He should be able to reach beyond the 500th level. 500th level. This strength was frightening. After all, most of the people here were stuck at the dozens of levels. It was not easy for those who could reach beyond the 100th level, and they were considered well-known figures. How amazing was his talent to be able to reach the 500th level. Just like what He Yuan said, this young Master Zhao was indeed powerful. 100th level, 200th level, 300th level. Every time he broke through the 100th level, there would be an uproar from the outside. The news had also spread across the Dark City. Many people came to watch, and they were incredibly shocked. What was a true genius? This was a true genius. Comparing oneself to others would only make one angry. 500th level. From the 400th floor onward, Sir Zhao could no longer defeat the ultimate puppet in one go. He would need to strike repeatedly to kill the ultimate puppet. Towards the end, the number of ultimate puppets began to increase. Be it in terms of strength or defense, there are even a few ultimate puppets that specialized in strength and defense, which made them very difficult to deal with. Finally, at the 599th step, young Master Zhao came out. 599th level. This level was definitely an existence that everyone needed to look up to. As expected of a prodigy. Amazing. What a pity he was just one level away. Young Master Zhao was unable to rush to the 600th step, and the accumulated rewards were gone as well. Many people felt that it was a pity. Young Master Zhao, who came out, did not seem to have changed at all. The Limit Arena truly lives up to its name. As soon as these words were spoken, the strength of the Limit Arena once again caused the hearts of the crowd to tremble. If the Zhao clan's Heaven's Chosen was blocked on the 599 level, then what about the 1000 level? Nobody dared to imagine. Young Master Zhao had left. In everyone's eyes, this person was really here to experience the power of the extreme arena. This was what a true genius should be like. The Zhao clan has produced a pretty good genius. He Yuan chuckled. He is so young, yet he is so calm. This isn't something anyone can do. Who wouldn't be tempted by the treasures from the 500th level? For him to be able to casually place them down, that's amazing. You know the Zhao clan? Lin Fei asked. I've met them a few times. The Zhao clan is a clan with a long history, and their ancestors have produced many experts. This young Master Zhao should be the one with the most talent and potential in this generation. The Limit Arena left behind by a cosmos god isn't a place that anyone can rush to. Of course, the Master is another matter. Lin Fei chuckled. I want to challenge it too. After young Master Zhao left, Lin Fei walked out. The manager was also immersed in the previous scene. He did not care much about the young man who came out. I feel that it's better for you to come another day, the manager said to Lin Fei, because you can't adjust your mental state properly. It isn't beneficial for you to fight against the ultimate puppet. Don't waste this chance that comes once a month. The Limit Arena was open to the public. Everyone only had one chance a month. Everyone treasured the opportunity to challenge the limit arena very much. No need. Lin Fei shook his head. The manager didn't think that this kid could pass many levels. Everyone present was affected by young Master Zhao. 599 levels. It wasn't something that anyone could do. All right. The manager eventually opened the limit arena. Another one entered. The fellow inside must have been stimulated. That's right. Why don't you look at yourself first? I guess the brat can't get past the 30th level. That's right. If it were me, I'd definitely take a break for a few days. It's such a good opportunity. Youngsters really know how to waste it. Passing the trial requires 200,000 power of faith. That's right. Each challenge in the Dojo of Limits requires 200,000 faith energy. Even so, there was an endless stream of people who came to participate. They could temper their combat techniques in the limit arena. Such an opportunity was not something anyone could get. On the first level, as soon as the ultimate puppet appeared, it slashed straight at Lu Xian's neck. It was swift and fierce. Lin Fei did the same thing as young Master Zhao. With a swing of his hand, a force collided with the limit puppet, shattering it into pieces. It was exactly the same as what young Master Zhao had done. Many people who were about to leave were dumbfounded. The scene in front of them was too familiar. This seems to be the same as young Master Zhao's. Yeah, right. No one believed that this person had the same strength as young Master Zhao. They reckoned that he would soon reveal his true colors on the second level. The limit puppet on the first level was easy to deal with. If one had enough strength, it would not be difficult. On the second level, the difficulty began to increase. Although it was not obvious, there was a slight change. On the second level, it was still the same move. On the third level, it was still the same level. The fourth level was the same. The spectators at the limit arena were shocked. Once again. First, there was young Master Zhao. Now, there was another one. No matter how many limit puppets there were, they were all dealt with in one move. This was comparable to that person. Who is this person? He's so unfamiliar. But his strength is comparable to young Master Zhao's. He's already at the 300th level, but it looks so easy. Could it be that another record breaker is going to happen today? A scene that's hard to see in 10,000 years. What an eye-opener. The news of another person breaking through the 300th and 400th levels spread again. Chapter 33, 65. Darkness City, City Lord Mansion. With the arrival of the Zhao family's young master, how could Luo Junting not come out as the city lord? Young Master Zhao is indeed a rare guest. Luo Junting did not dare to look down on this Prince Zhao. The other party had limitless potential in the future, and he even had 2 Dao protectors outside. Both of them were pseudo-cosmos gods. Such care was something few superpowers could do. What rare guest! I just happened to pass by. I heard that the Dojo of Limits is pretty interesting, so I went. Luo Junting naturally knew of the martial Dojo of Limits. It was left behind by the ultimate cosmos gods. It's a pity that cosmos gods could not enter, and this was a huge blow to people like them, who would not be tempted by the treasures left behind by a true cosmos god. Nobody knew what that ultimate cosmos god was planning to do. Some said that it was for the sake of the inheritance, while others said that it was a joke. There were all sorts of guesses, but unfortunately, up until now, no one had been able to figure it out. As for the 1,000th floor, until now, no one had been able to do it. Luo Junting was very good with words. He had a great time chatting with this young Master Zhao. Towards this kind of second generation, the only thing he didn't want was for anything to happen to him in the wasteland of death. This was going to be a huge problem. In the wasteland of death, there were still many great demons who refused to submit to him. Normally, they minded their own business, but who knew if they would have a stroke one day? As the city lord, even Luo Junting couldn't guarantee it. City lord, the Dojo of Limits, is in big trouble. While they were chatting, a confidant ran in. He didn't notice that there was someone in the room and said it out loud. Young Master Zhao, who had been listening all this while, revealed a hint of curiosity. Luo Genting thought something happened. What happened? Hurry up and tell me. Did that blind guy break into the dojo of limits? Ever since the martial dojo of limits appeared in the Dark City, quite a few people had been scheming in the dark, of which most of them were cosmos gods. City Lord, it's not that someone broke in. It's that someone broke the record. Right now, he's already reached the 900th floor. Even the head of the dojo of limits was alerted. Apparently, that person might be able to reach the 1000th floor. Hearing this, Luo Genting's heart shook. There was actually someone who could do such an impossible thing. Those who were not cosmos gods could reach this level, and that was something unheard of. Impossible. Luo Genting couldn't believe it. The young master of the Zhao clan was even more surprised. He had just chased him away, and now an even more powerful person had come? Why did this sound so ironic? Which family's disciple is it? The Zhao family's young master couldn't help but ask. Seeing that the city lord didn't say anything, the aide reported in a low voice, I don't know for now. It's an unfamiliar person, and I don't know where he came from. You don't know? Zhao family young master was even more surprised. In his opinion, apart from those few people in the Star River Prefecture, there was no one else who was stronger than him. But now it actually wasn't. The Dojo of Limits has a lot of evil people with good eyesight. If they can't recognize him, then they definitely don't know him. City Lord, I don't think we can drink this tea anymore. Young Master, Zhao stood up. I'm going to take a look at this genius and see if I know him. Luo Genting said, I'm also interested in this genius. Why don't we go together? After all, someone who is able to break through the 1000th level might be the disciple of that powerful figure. It wouldn't be good to be negligent. Dojo of Limits. It became very lively at this moment. Before the commotion caused by young Master Zhao reaching the 599th floor had dissipated, another even more ferocious and powerful person appeared. He broke through all the way, and in half a day he reached the 900th floor. How horrifying was that? Experts from the Dark City came after receiving the news, especially those 3 pseudo-cosmos gods. They were the first to arrive. The limit arena left behind by a cosmos god made many people jealous. Some said it was a treasure, and some said it was a game of life. Everyone wanted to know what good things that person left behind. This arena had existed for a very long time. Until now, nobody could reach the 1000th level. During this period, many absolute geniuses came, and all of them had the same outcome. There was no one who could reach the 900th level. Dojo Master, you are an old man. Do you think that fellow can reach the 1000th level? In a private room in the Limit Martial Dojo, for people stood there. The 4 of them were very famous in Dark City. For instance, the Dojo Master of the Limit Martial Dojo, Skytop Dojo Master. Skytop Dojo Master was a middle-aged man with a mediocre stature. Facing the question of a cosmos god, he shook his head slightly. It's hard to say. I'm clear about the situation of the Limit Arena left behind by my teacher. For him to reach the 900th level in such a short period, he is the most formidable person I've ever seen. The 3 cosmos gods were the 3 pseudo-cosmos gods under Luo Genting from the Dark City. Being a pseudo-cosmos god who would not want to take a step forward and become a true cosmos god. They came as soon as the news spread, and they saw a young man displaying terrifying power, sweeping away everything in his path. Those formidable ultimate puppets were like ants to him. He reached the 981 level. He went up another level. The 4 people in the private room were all staring at it. The most excited one was the Skytop Dojo Master. Being a disciple, nobody wanted to know more than him what was left behind at the end of the Limit Arena. After anticipating for so long, Skytop Dojo Master felt that there might be an answer today. It's just that the arrival of the three cosmos gods displeased him greatly. If he knew that they were so formidable, he would have closed the Limit Martial Dojo at the first instance. But at this moment, Skytop Dojo Master was helpless. The moment the news spread, everyone was like animals that smelled the scent of meat. They were all rushing towards the Limit Martial Dojo, within the small space of the Limit Arena. At this moment, Lin Fei had to face 81 ultimate puppets. These ultimate puppets moved extremely fast. At the same time, they were slippery. Whenever a palm was sent flying, other ultimate puppets would immediately take the chance to attack. Their coordination was great, and it was hard to defend against them. After the 900th level, Lin Fei had long determined the changes in the power of the ultimate puppets. The 100th level was a huge stage. From the 800th level onwards, Lin Fei had used the prestige technique of the system to silently defeat the ultimate puppets. Others would not notice the changes at all. For the sake of not being too conspicuous, Lin Fei deliberately extended the time from the 900th level onwards, making it seem like he was spending a lot of effort. City Master, Luo Genting, and the Zhao clan prince arrived at the Limit Martial Dojo together. At this moment, the Limit Martial Dojo was extremely quiet. Everyone was looking at the small space within. Those ultimate puppets that were constantly being defeated made everyone's blood boil. The three Cosmos God subordinates and Skytop Dojo Master came out to welcome them. Soon, they arrived at the private room. Something huge is going to happen in our dark city. Chapter 3366. On the Limit Arena, that mysterious black-robed man once again charged up several levels. He did not take long to reach every level. Most would take 3 to 5 days to get through. None of the ultimate puppets could resist against the suppression of the other party. It's the final level. Will the treasure left behind by the ultimate cosmos god be taken away by this person? This is really exciting. Within the Martial Dojo, many people were looking forward to this scene. That was a treasure left behind by a true cosmos god. In everyone's opinion, the ultimate cosmos god would definitely leave behind a treasure. Other than that, they could not imagine what else would be left behind. Now that there was a chance to witness it, who would not look forward to it? It's a pity that nobody could ascertain the origins of this person. It was as if he appeared out of thin air. The only record was that the other party had just entered the Dark City a few days ago. That was thought-provoking. 100 ultimate puppets. He is so powerful. The final level. The 100 ultimate puppets were entirely different from before. They seemed more ordinary. But under this ordinary aura, everyone's expression changed. That unseen dangerous aura made their scalps numb. Just a single glance was enough to make them feel a wave of fear. It was unknown how many people were shocked by this scene. If it were them, they would most likely not be able to get through. It was like an unseen mountain. It's starting. 100 figures rushed over. They were wielding several dozen weapons. Those who were weaker could only see a blurred figure. They could not even see the battle. And those powerful experts felt their skin tense up when the ultimate puppets acted. It was as if they were being attacked. It felt as if they were in the battlefield. In the private room, Sky Pole Tavern Master took a deep breath. Ultimate puppet. Being a disciple, he knew many secrets. When these 100 ultimate puppets transformed, he could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. The 3 cosmos gods by the side had the same expression. Even they could not defend against such an attack. There were several dozen offensive techniques, and they could not think of how to defend against several of them. This 1000 level is indeed worthy of its reputation. The 3 cosmos gods exchanged glances before saying. They were even more curious about the person inside. Such strength! Unless he was a disciple from an apex clan from a great prefecture? This strength seemed to surpass them. Yet he was fine under the attack of 100 ultimate puppets. In another private room, young Master Zhao Wenwu of the Zhao family was also staring fixedly at the black-clothed man in the extreme arena. Treasure. He must have a powerful treasure on him. Zhao Wenwu was very confident in his own strength. However, when he saw this scene, he couldn't help but think that his opponent had an extremely powerful defensive treasure on him. The encirclement of 100 ultimate puppets was unable to tear through the defense. What else could it be other than treasures? Luo Genting, who was standing at the side, had many things on his mind. Luo Genting recognized the man the moment he laid eyes on him. He was the man that Captain Bai had asked him to capture. When the other party displayed his strength, Luo Genting seemed to understand one thing. Why did Captain Bai come looking for him? This person really had a powerful background. The most surprising thing was that he didn't know this person. This is really troublesome. That's right, this was indeed a problem for Luo Genting. Shui Ying was able to get through the many layers of trials of the ultimate cosmos god and was just lacking the final level. This strength could be seen just by looking at Zhao Wenwu by the side. Prince Zhao, you are an outstanding character amongst the geniuses. Do you know who this person is? Luo Genting was a cosmos god. It could be said that he was not afraid of anyone. But how could a person with such amazing skills not have a powerful background? What Luo Genting was worried about was the powerful cosmos god behind the other party. Since the other party could groom such an amazing disciple, as long as he wasn't a fool, he would believe that the other party had a huge background. This was the reason why Luo Genting felt a headache. Previously, it was fine if he didn't know. But now that he knew, he had to treat this matter seriously before capturing the other party. If he wasn't careful, it would be a huge calamity for the Dark City. I don't know him. He is very unfamiliar. Zhao Wenwu was surprised too. His record was broken so quickly. Nobody was clearer than him how formidable the limit arena was. Zhao Wenwu did not speak much, but the meaning behind his words was clear. This black-robed man definitely had a powerful background. Lin Fei within the small space, with a wave of his hand, sealing heaven and freezing earth. A terrifying chill was emitted from Lin Fei's body. At that moment, the entire small space was filled with a frightening chill. Those who were watching from the outside felt a chill down their spines. That chill seemed to have spread to their bodies. There were even some people shouting, "I am so cold." 100 ultimate puppets actually broke out of the seal under this chill. Again, Lin Fei acted once again, sealing all the ultimate puppets. This time, more than 50 of the 100 ultimate puppets rushed out, displaying their powerful strength. The ultimate puppets left behind by ultimate cosmos gods are really resistant to beatings. Even after being sealed twice, so many can still come out. Lin Fei was inwardly startled. Seal, seal, seal. After a few times, all the ultimate puppets were frozen like ice sculptures. They could no longer move. What technique is that? I can feel a chill even from afar. The ultimate puppets are frozen just like that. What a frightening technique. Unless this is the unique Yin Qi from the heaven and earth rankings. How frightening was the Yin Qi needed to freeze the ultimate puppets? Everyone immediately thought of the Yin Qi from the heaven and earth rankings. It seemed that only the Yin Qi from the heaven and earth rankings could have such an effect. Just like the flame from the heaven and earth rankings. They are all frozen. Sky's Limit Tavern Master had a look of shock. It is the Yin Qi from the heaven and earth rankings. The ultimate puppets were existences that had broken through the limits. Even cosmos gods were not their opponents, but they were frozen in the hands of that black-robed man, just 5 to 6 times before they were frozen. Sky's Limit Tavern Master did not dare to imagine. That was such a frightening matter. A door has appeared, someone on the arena exclaimed. After the 100 ultimate puppets were frozen, a door appeared in space. It seemed to be hidden for a long time before it was activated. He broke through. The treasure left behind by ultimate cosmos gods is about to appear. That black-robed man is too powerful. I know. Furthermore, this fellow has grasped hold of the strongest yin qi from the heaven and earth rankings. Lin Fei cursed at how difficult the arrangements left behind by ultimate cosmos gods were. If one wanted to break through the 1,000 levels, it was impossible for those who were not absolute geniuses to do so. It was too difficult, especially this final level. It was simply a nightmare for everyone. It was hard to kill them. Now, let me see what good things are behind this door. Chapter 3367. Lin Fei walked through the door before disappearing from the eyes of the crowd. The moment the other party entered, the martial dojo of limits was in an uproar. Everyone was cheering. Someone finally broke through the stage. This is a huge matter, but that fellow is going to be unlucky. This is the Dark City and the wasteland of death. It isn't so easy to get the treasures left behind by a cosmos god. While everyone was excited, someone sneered. None of them were optimistic about that black-robed man. Even though he seemed powerful and had treasures on him, this wasn't an ordinary place. Within the Dark City, news spread faster. At the same time, the news left the Dark City and spread across the wasteland of death. Someone wants to get the treasures left behind by a cosmos god. The news wasn't long, but the amount of information within was huge. No matter who saw it, they would not be able to control their impulse. That was a treasure left behind by a cosmos god. Who would believe that there were no good items within since he left behind 1,000 levels? Many figures rushed towards the Dark City. Lin Fei walked through the door. He arrived at a place filled with the fragrance of flowers and the chirping of birds. He could hear the crisp chirping of birds by his ears. Lin Fei could clearly see that this seemed to be a forest. Not bad, not bad. A figure flashed in front of him. He raised his hand and sent a palm over. An enormous wave surged into the sky. Lin Fei was startled inwardly. He subconsciously welcomed the attack with his palm. Hung, hung, hung. An even more vigorous energy exploded within his body. Lin Fei was sent flying by palm. That blurred figure once again forced his way over. If you want the treasures left behind by this old man, you have to defeat this old man first. Lin Fei felt his heart trembling. My cosmos god fleshy body has actually been shaken. That palm caused my blood to boil. Unless this person is a cosmos god. Many thoughts flashed by his ears. That illusory figure attacked, once again. It was so fast that one could not see any traces of it. Fist after fist came. This time, Lin Fei did not send out a palm. His entire body had sunk into the sea of energy. He was like a lone boat that was about to be drowned. The power was like the sea. Lin Fei thought of a phrase. The vast power was boundless, and Lin Fei was being pushed back and forth. If you only have this much strength, then you are not qualified to take the things left behind by this old man. The phantom continued to attack. In a short period of time, they had suffered hundreds of attacks. It was truly a violent storm. This ultimate cosmos god is indeed extraordinary. I have always felt that my fleshy body is strong, but at this moment the gap is too great. This is the limit. Furthermore, this illusory figure doesn't seem to be materialized. It shouldn't be his true body. If this is his true body, Lin Fei didn't dare to continue imagining it. Terrifyingly powerful. This was the label given to the ultimate cosmos gods. If I were an ordinary peerless heaven's favorite, I'm afraid I would have to return in failure today. Unfortunately, I am not. Lin Fei felt the pain coming from his body. It had been a long time since he felt this way. The ultimate cosmos god was the only one who injured him. His strong body was now covered with scars and fist marks. all of which were caused by this phantom. Seal. Lin Fei directly displayed his supporting technique. A cold intent swept out. The body of the phantom began being covered in frost. Within moments, it turned into a sculpture. One could vaguely see a muscular figure within, though his face was unclear. You are the first to freeze this old man. A loud "Ka-cha" sound reverberated. The phantom rushed out once again. Using his hand as a blade, he chopped down. A blade light that was 300 meters long came slashing over. But this isn't enough. Lin Fei cursed inwardly. How can an illusion be so powerful? What a joke! Absolute space. A protective barrier appeared before him. The blade light dispersed in front of Lin Fei, turning into an omnidirectional attack without any blind spots. The illusory figure pounced over. His hand was like a saber as it chopped heavily on the protective barrier. The powerful absolute space was forcibly knocked away. Lin Fei, who was within it, was also sent flying. Limit. Is this the limit of strength? This was the first time his protective barrier was broken by someone. At the same time, a huge portion of his prestige was consumed. What the hell? That move just now actually consumed 500 billion prestige. Seeing how much prestige was consumed, Lin Fei was startled. The previous time he consumed such a huge amount of prestige was within the Forbidden Soul region. A peak cosmos god expert had consumed 800 billion prestige in a single move. But now he was passively defending against it. Lin Fei finally understood the deeper meaning of the word, ultimate cosmos god. The strength of this master had most likely surpassed ordinary peak cosmos gods, and this was purely the strength of his fleshy body. From the start to the end, Lin Fei did not feel the other party using a second type of energy. What a fellow! This treasure of yours isn't bad for you to be able to withstand a palm attack from this old man. The phantom pounced over once again. I wonder how many times you can block against this old man. Even though Lin Fei was wealthy, he could not withstand such consumption. Damn, this is forcing me to use my big move. Lin Fei originally planned to play casually, but he was not willing to play in such a manner. The losses were too huge, and it was not worth it. Storm! Lin Fei roared out. A black light shot out from between his eyebrows. As the black light flew out, it turned into a huge storm that engulfed the entire forest. Before the storm, everything was torn apart. This phantom also fell into the storm. The tyrannical and powerful energy tore it apart. No matter how this phantom struggled, he could not break free from the strangulation of the storm. His unparalleled body was being torn apart inch by inch within the storm. You are very strong, truly very strong. You are clearly not a cosmos god. Yet you have surprised this old man. The phantom gave up on struggling. He allowed the storm to kill him. Congratulations! You have passed the trial. You will obtain the pinnacle cultivation technique and all treasures left behind by this old man. The phantom automatically dissipated. That's it. Lin Fei blinked. This ultimate cosmos god was really strange. Voila! A powerful suction force descended without any warning. Under this force, Xue Ying could not move at all. Suddenly, the scene in front of him changed. He arrived in a stone house. This stone house was not big. Unless this is the place where the ultimate cosmos god left behind the treasures, that is truly a good arrangement. If I did not defeat the phantom, I would most likely not be teleported here. Lin Fei swept his gaze across. The stone house was not big. It was just a few dozen meters away from the front to the back. This was completely different from the rumored treasure cove. Most likely, nobody would believe it if this news were to spread. This was a cosmos god, and one who was exceptionally powerful even amongst cosmos gods. Let me see what treasures were left behind. Lin Fei was slightly disappointed. Fortunately, He was not too interested in the treasure cove of a cosmos god. If not for the cosmos crystal piece, he would not have come here. The stone house seemed to be constructed within a huge stone mountain. Someone had used brute force to excavate it. On the stone walls, there were many grooves. These grooves were not big, but every single one of them contained items. Chapter 3368. Dark City. As the news spread out, all experts in the wasteland of death knew of this news. Someone had gotten through the checkpoint set by the ultimate cosmos god and successfully entered the treasure cove of the ultimate cosmos god. This news was known by everyone. Those powerful experts all came here. They did not enter the Dark City because that person in the Dark City would not allow them to act. But it was different outside. Nobody dared to act against them. For the sake of obtaining the treasures left behind by that person, several giants in the wasteland of death had teamed up and were prepared to fight against the other party. A treasure left behind by a true cosmos god, especially a peak cultivation technique, was something that anyone would be interested in. City Master, they said they want to meet you. I think they are harboring evil intentions. Within the Martial Dojo of Limit's private room, Luo Junting heard many news. They were all about the commotion in the wasteland of death. For instance, this news. He was clear that those fellows outside were tempted. All of them wanted a share of the profits from the treasure cove of the ultimate cosmos god. Not meeting them. That would not do. Luo Junting was similarly fearful of those outside. If it was a one-on-one battle, he was not worried about any of them. But when they teamed up together, the weight they had was not light. He had to treat them seriously. Prince Zhao, please excuse me for a moment. I have to go out and settle some matters, Luo Junting said apologetically. He had no choice but to go. Zhao Wenwu chuckled. It's fine. City Master doesn't have to accompany me. I will just stay here and watch. Luo Junting left. Prince, there will soon be a huge battle in the Dark City. The ultimate cosmos god was a huge character that shook the entire eternal cosmos in the past. But this fellow has enemies all over the world. Now that someone has inherited the treasures in the treasure cove, he might be his disciple and might have grasped a peak cultivation technique. Those people will definitely arrange for someone from the younger generation to act. That ultimate cosmos god fellow died with evil intentions. The old man standing by the side of Zhao Wenwu sighed. Zhao Wenwu chuckled. I originally came here to temper myself, but who would have thought that I would encounter such a matter? This is truly interesting. I am looking forward to it. Sky's Limit Tavern Master left the room. In a while, activate the Great Array. Nobody is allowed to act. Within the secret room, the trusted aide of Sky's Limit Tavern Master ordered. Master, this isn't a good idea. The Heaven's Limit Dojo's master's face sank. There's nothing bad about it. That person who passed the master's test will be a member of the Extreme Dojo in the future. As a senior brother, if I don't protect him, when will I protect him? But those cosmos gods, a few of his trusted subordinates, were still worried. The Heaven's Fate Dojo's master snorted. They've been eyeing the Dojo of Limits for a long time. Here, no matter who it is, they have to follow the rules. From the moment the black-clothed man entered the door, the Empyrean Pole Dojo's master firmly believed that the other party was his junior brother. Here, no one could bully them. The Empyrean Pole Tavern Master still remembered the words his teacher left him before leaving. His cultivation technique would only be given to absolute geniuses, and he would become the inheritor of the peak cultivation technique, becoming a new ultimate cosmos god in the cosmos. He remembered these words clearly. Under the situation where a group of wolves and tigers were glaring at him, Heaven's Limit Dojo Master did not wish for others to bully this future disciple of his. He was not afraid of anyone in the Extreme Dojo, not even cosmos gods. Impudent? Who dared to be impudent? Inside the stone house, Lin Fei checked through the items within the grooves. He had to admit that everything within the grooves was good stuff. Any one of them would cause a huge commotion when taken out. What a fellow! Any one of these items is something that can claim one's life. How many people did this ultimate cosmos god offend in the past? Lin Fei roughly looked through a few items before understanding that they were all treasures that were seized. From the introduction above, all of them were treasures that were highly valued by the great clans beneath the eternal cosmos. The ultimate cosmos god isn't killed. His luck is truly heaven-defying. Lin Fei did not have a deep understanding of the eternal cosmos, but from the records above, no matter which treasure it was a masterpiece of the ultimate cosmos god. This could be seen from the tone left behind. It's a pity that these items were not of much interest to Lin Fei. If I were to exchange them for them, I believe they would give me quite a lot of faith energy. Lin Fei squinted. With a wave of his hand, he kept the items one by one. It would be a waste to leave these things behind. Hence, he might as well keep them. As he moved through the grooves, he found that they were all treasures of considerable value. This fellow really knows how to plunder. He actually got so many treasures. Within the grooves, other than treasures, there were only a few pills and divine weapons. This made Lin Fei mutter inwardly. This person's taste was truly different. Most people would not dare to have such a taste. Who would dare to try? This is the final groove. He obtained more than 20 treasures, of which a few were tokens. These tokens seemed ordinary. Other than the few words at the back, he could not see anything different about them. How could something left behind by a peak cosmos god in the notch not be good? He would keep it first. Currently, there was only the final groove left. What was placed within the groove was not a treasure. Instead, it was a piece of jade that was emitting a warm color. It isn't a cosmos crystal chip. Lin Fei was slightly disappointed. He came here for the cosmos crystal chip. Even if he obtained more other items, it would be meaningless. Lin Fei casually picked up the piece of jade. He used his consciousness to examine it, and his expression changed slightly. Who would have thought that this is a peak cultivation technique left behind by an ultimate cosmos god? The piece of jade contained the peak cultivation technique. The peak cultivation technique was extremely detailed. This was the most detailed peak cultivation technique Lin Fei had ever seen. Even though I haven't gotten my hands on a cosmos crystal chip, this peak cultivation technique is quite suitable for the current me. Lin Fei squinted. The piece of jade in his hand turned into powder. It was a single-use item. The peak cultivation technique was complete. It was not divided into upper, middle, and lower like what Lin Fei imagined. It isn't without reason that an ultimate cosmos god could become a resounding existence among the cosmos gods. The other party cultivated his body to such a powerful state, using his body as a weapon. At the same time, he created a peak cultivation technique to compress the strength of his body. I can't help but be convinced. Lin Fei's cosmos god body was strengthened through many techniques. He relied entirely on the system to reach this stage, but it was different for ultimate cosmos gods. The other party relied on a tyrannical and powerful cultivation technique. Lin Fei was convinced. Originally, I was worried that I would be too conspicuous and expose myself. If I were to learn a peak cultivation technique, there is nothing for me to worry about. Even without the cosmos crystal chip, this was an unexpected joy. I will owe you this favor. Chapter 3369. Within the stone house. Lin Fei was not in a rush to leave this place. The moment he left this place, there would be a huge amount of trouble waiting for him. The treasures left behind by this ultimate cosmos god were not that easy to obtain. This was something Lin Fei was clear of. Was he afraid of trouble? Of course not. But now that he was in a different place, he had to remain low profile. The Eternal Church controlled this cosmos. Currently, Lin Fei had accumulated a huge amount of faith energy. But the moment he fought with the Holy Church, his reputation would not be sufficient to fight a protracted war. This was what Lin Fei was more worried about. It is better for me to cultivate the pinnacle cultivation technique first. Lin Fei grasped the pinnacle cultivation technique through the system. Cultivating this technique required him to continuously strengthen his fleshy body, and it required a vast amount of life energy. It might seem easy, but not everyone could grasp it. The moment he lacked strength, he would fall short of success. That time, the ultimate cosmos god had spent a lot of effort to reach this stage. Pinnacle cultivation technique, first level, fusing 1,000,000 times. There were a total of 10 levels in the pinnacle cultivation technique. The first level would shatter the fleshy body 1,000,000 times. Every time he shattered his fleshy body, it was equivalent to strengthening his fleshy body. It might not seem difficult, but the consumption during this period was huge. Not everyone could persist. Begin. According to the method of the pinnacle cultivation technique, Lin Fei began shattering his fleshy body. His powerful fleshy body easily crumbled at this moment. Once it completely crumbled, Lin Fei began to reform his fleshy body. His life energy was also being consumed in large amounts. A boundless pain engulfed him. Even though his body had yet to reappear, the pain had already appeared. It was an unfathomable technique. The first round of fusion consumed a huge amount of life energy. That pain was so intense that it could torture one to the point of fainting. Under such circumstances, he had to repeat it 1,000,000 times. This was a huge threshold. Without the system, I really can't cultivate it. Lin Fei sealed his 5 senses. Even if this cultivation technique gave him a huge pain, it could not affect him at all. Dark City. No one knew how many experts had come. Everyone was staring at the extreme martial dojo. Those who came to watch had no intention of leaving. They were all waiting. As long as that person did not appear, it would mean that he was still inside. It was a treasure that belonged to a peak cosmos god. What a great temptation! Even if he couldn't get it, he could still look at it. They didn't believe that the man in black would leave from another place. Since he entered from here, he would definitely come out from here. So many days have passed. Could he have died in there? Who knows? It isn't that easy to obtain the treasures of a peak cosmos god. Who knows, he might really die inside. It has been half a month. Many people began to hesitate. More people were certain that the black-robed man was comprehending a cultivation technique of a peak cosmos god. That ultimate cultivation technique had never been circulated. Everyone knew that this cultivation technique was unfathomably powerful. Whoever cultivated it would become an outstanding expert. In the past, the ultimate cosmos god offended many people in the eternal cosmos, yet he was still alive and well. This was because his strength was unfathomable. Currently, that person did not come out. It was most likely because he was comprehending it. The moment he finished, he would most likely become another peak cosmos god. But there were quite a few who sneered. That time when that ultimate cosmos god cultivated this cultivation technique, many had heard of how much resources he had spent. How could a mere black-robed man obtain it? Comprehension? Forget about it. It was impossible in a short period. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master was the most anxious. It is good that he isn't coming out. He truly did not wish for that person to come out so early. At the very least, he could be indifferent for a period of a few years. It was fine even if it was a few decades. Currently, the entire Dark City was filled with people paying attention to this matter. There was even news that spread to the Star River Prefecture. Many enemies of the peak cosmos gods came over after hearing the news. It was obvious what their motive was. Time passed year by year. 5 years, 10 years. In the blink of an eye, 13 years passed. To everyone, 13 years was nothing. It was just a blink of an eye. And to the martial dojo of limits, it had become much quieter during this 13 years because the limit arena could no longer be opened. At the start, many people were waiting inside. Eventually, Everyone arranged for people to keep watch outside. Only some big characters did not leave. Instead, they continued waiting. 13 years was nothing. It was the same even if it was 130 years. There were no spatial ripples appearing in the wasteland of death. Everyone was certain that that person was still in the space within the martial dojo of limits. If not for the uniqueness of the martial dojo of limits, they would have long charged in and waited for that person to come out. It's a pity that they could not do so. Within the martial dojo of limits, that heaven's limit martial dojo was not a vegetarian. Anyone who dared to try would definitely lose a layer of skin, even if they did not die. This was something everyone understood. Being able to become a big character required patience. Everyone was waiting patiently. 13 years. Within the stone house, the final figure collapsed before fusing back together. Lin Fei's figure became tall and straight. Many gales revolved around him. The hard space was easily sliced apart by the gales. I have finally reached the first level of the limit cultivation technique. After a total of 13 years, Lin Fei finally reached the first level. This level of cultivation was one of the longest that Lin Fei had ever done. Even with the help of the system, he still spent such a long time. It wasn't hard to fuse 1,000,000 fleshy bodies together at the start. But as time went on, it took a long time. The consumption of life energy was also increasing. Fortunately, the faith energy could be used to unleash life techniques. That was why he could continue cultivating. But it took him a total of 13 years, completely exceeding the estimation of Lin Fei. I spent 13 years on the first level. The second level should take at least 50 years to fuse 10 million times. If it were others, it would take at least 1,000 years. With the support of an unending stream of faith energy, Lin Fei could cultivate so quickly, but he still used a total of 300 billion faith energy. This amount wasn't something anyone could afford. It was no wonder that the cosmos gods took such a long time. This cultivation technique required a huge amount of resources to support it. The first level of the limit cultivation technique has strengthened my fleshy body by 5 times. My fleshy body strength has become even more terrifying. Lin Fei extended his hand. A gust of wind revolved in his palm. The surrounding space was slowly being torn apart. This fleshy body wind is powerful enough to make cosmos gods feel restraining fear. Currently, Lin Fei did not need to move. His fleshy body could shoot out fleshy body wind. Every gust of wind was abnormally terrifying. This was a gales automatically released by the cells in his fleshy body. It is time for me to go out. Chapter 30, 370. Dark City. 13 years had passed. The martial dojo of limits had always been the focus of attention. There were a few disciples of the dojo near the ring. They were cleaning up and inadvertently glanced at the ring. One of the young men nudged the person next to him. "Say, it's been so long. Could that person have died inside?" The other person followed up with a glance. Who knows? The ultimate cosmos god is someone we have to look up to. But I still hope for that person to come out. You should know that many big characters in the wasteland of death are staring at our martial dojo, causing us to have to be careful whenever we go out. Ever since the news of breaking through to the 1,000th level spread, the martial dojo of limits had become famous. The reason why they became famous was because the treasure left behind by ultimate cosmos gods might reappear. To anyone, this was something that would stir their hearts. Being disciples of the dojo, they did not dare to go out for many years. They were not afraid of anything within the martial dojo of limits. But outside, they would be targeted by others, even if they did not know anything. Speaking of this person, the 2 disciples did not wish for him to appear. It would be best if he died. The moment he came out alive, the martial dojo of limits would once again be noticed by others. At that time, they would have a headache. With the big characters fighting against each other, they would be implicated as well. Hua hua hua. Just as they finished speaking, an intense light appeared on the arena. Following that, a figure appeared on the arena. It's him. He is actually fine. The two disciples paled in fright. During the 13 years, many did not think highly of this person. How could the treasure left behind by ultimate cosmos gods be so easily obtained? Just as they were talking about the other party appeared. This was definitely a huge shock. After a brief moment of shock, they shouted out, "He is back! That person is back!" Many disciples of the martial arts hall rushed out, and when they saw the figure from 13 years ago, their expressions couldn't help but change. Isn't he just coming out? Is there a need for such a huge commotion? Lin Fei did not like being watched by others. Now he was preparing to leave the martial dojo of limits. "Where's Black Yuan?" Lin Fei frowned when he saw that He Yuan was not around. Could something have happened? That doesn't seem possible. "Sir, please hold on." Lin Fei came down from the stage. Someone immediately came up and greeted him respectfully. "Our dojo master is rushing over." The disciples of the martial arts club braced themselves. They had all been instructed by the club master to immediately report to him as soon as someone came out. No one dared to go against the dojo master's words. Dojo master? Lin Fei actually didn't want to see this dojo master. The best thing had been taken by him, so it would be strange if he did not hate himself to death. This was especially the case for extreme martial arts. Just the first level of it would increase one's strength by 5 times, and one's combat skills and experience would increase exponentially. With such a huge benefit, who would be willing to give it up? Master! While Lin Fei was deep in thought, a figure rushed over and appeared in front of him. Who else could it be but He Yuan? "I thought something happened to you," Lin Fei said with a smile. He Yuan was expressionless. "Dojo master, he's about to arrive. I think it's best if master meets him." Lin Fei pondered over He Yuan's words. "Junior disciple brother, you finally came out. That's great. I can finally be at ease." The Heaven's Pole Dojo master brought a group of people over. After seeing that Lin Fei was fine, his eyes brightened. Lin Fei looked at the person who came. He could feel a familiar aura from the other party. It was the aura of the extreme martial arts. The 2 words junior disciple brother surprised Lin Fei. When did he become a junior disciple brother? It couldn't be that this fellow forcefully added it on him, right? The Empyrean Dojo's master's gaze fell on Qin Wentian's body. He felt a trace of familiar aura and couldn't help but be shocked. He actually managed to cross the threshold. Judging from his aura, he should have reached the first level. He is truly a heaven-sent genius. It has only been 13 years. Back then, I used 1,300 years. Being a disciple of a cosmos god, the Heaven's Pole Dojo master had also cultivated the extreme martial arts. It's a pity that he had only reached the first level. Even after cultivating it, his aura wasn't as strong as the current Lin Fei. "Sir, are you mistaken?" Lin Fei said, "I'm not familiar with you. How could this junior disciple brother be?" The Heaven's Pole Dojo master came over with a smile. "Junior disciple brother, you have just come out. Why don't you come up and have a cup of tea with us? We can talk about this slowly." After cultivating bitterly for 13 years, Lin Fei had never had a good rest. "Sure." Lin Fei agreed, straightforwardly. He wasn't worried about dealing against himself. At the same time, City, Lord residents. "City Lord, our people in the Extreme Martial Dojo have sent news that black-robed man has come out." In the back garden of the City Lord residence, a trusted aide immediately came over to report the situation. Luo Junting was currently enjoying his tea with a satisfied look on his face. "I have truly underestimated this person. He has stayed inside for 13 years. The treasures and even the cultivation techniques of cosmos gods should be in the hands of this person." Luo Junting had been paying attention to this matter these few years. Honestly speaking, he cared a lot about the extreme martial dojo. It's a pity that the Heaven's Pole Dojo master rarely left the extreme martial dojo. Furthermore, he was powerful and usually stayed in the extreme martial dojo. With that layer of tortoise shell, even he, the city lord, was helpless against the other party. City lord, what should we do now? Luo Junting chuckled. There's no rush. Arrange for someone to spread the news. Those people are very interested in this. Let us drink tea while watching. He was planning to sit on the mountain and watch the tigers fight. Being a cosmos god, Luo Junting did not wish to offend a few cosmos gods at once. That would not be worth it. This matter could not be rushed. In a courtyard. Prince, good news. In a quiet courtyard, a noble prince was currently practicing his sword. Many sword lights were moving unhindered, yet they did not harm the surrounding grass or flowers. The sword lights were like illusory existences that gave off a sharp and terrifying aura. What good news? That person has come out. The sword lights dissipated. The noble prince stood there holding onto his sword. The edge of his lips curled up. You didn't waste 13 years waiting for me here. This person was none other than the Zhao clan prince, Zhao Wenwu. Arrange for someone to watch over him. What? That person has come out. The news is accurate? Haha, that's great. It is a treasure of a cosmos god and a cultivation technique. The news spread rapidly. Many great characters knew about it at the first moment. The Dark City soon became lively, especially outside the extreme martial dojo. Within a short period, many people had gathered. Junior disciple brother, drink some tea. This is a divine tea that can strengthen the fleshy body. The Heaven's Pole Dojo master took out his favorite tea leaves and personally brewed the tea for Lin Fei. The moment the tea was brewed, strands of unique aura drifted out. Lin Fei could not understand what the other party was planning. Chapter 3371. Martial Dojo of Limits. Good tea. Lin Fei took a sip. This tea contained a unique energy that could strengthen his fleshy body by a strand. Even though it was not obvious, Lin Fei could still feel it. This tea was not bad. The improvement of the fleshy body had to be done step by step. It wasn't that easy to improve. This tea was relatively good. If one consumed it for a long period, it could completely improve the fleshy body at least 10 times faster than those who did not consume it. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master chuckled. Junior disciple brother, you should have learned teacher's extreme cultivation technique and even stepped into the first level, right? You are indeed someone highly regarded by teacher. As a senior disciple brother, I am ashamed of my inferiority. Lin Fei continued listening. He had indeed stepped into the first level. The other party did not feel surprised. Teacher mentioned in the past that anyone who passed through his trial would become his final disciple. Hence, you are my junior disciple brother. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master said happily. If teacher knew that he had a final disciple like you, he would definitely smile in the underworld. His cultivation technique would finally have a true inheritor. Lin Fei felt that he was in trouble, and it wasn't a small one. I don't want to be a disciple. Lin Fei didn't like having a master for no reason, even though he had received benefits from it. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master was clear from the start that those who could pass the trial were not nameless. Wanting to become the disciple of teacher, the other party might not agree to it. As for keeping the other party, he might have thought of it previously, but now he no longer had such thoughts. Junior disciple brother, you have misunderstood my meaning. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master explained. I don't want you to become the final disciple of teacher. I only hope that junior disciple brother can develop the extreme cultivation technique of teacher and not let it be buried. Lin Fei understood what he meant. I feel that you should be the one to develop the extreme cultivation technique. Lin Fei chuckled. It was just a coincidence of mine. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master laughed bitterly. What do you think of me? Not bad, Lin Fei replied. Who would have thought that celestial pole tavern master shook his head? Then you are mistaken. I am not good at it. That year, my teacher imparted me the first level of cultivation technique. Currently, even though my combat strength is strong, I am ordinary amongst cosmos gods. I am far from reaching the limit. First level. Lin Fei was speechless. No way. Nothing is impossible. The master of the celestial pole, Dojo, nodded. Under the heavens, only one person can cultivate an extreme cultivation technique. Junior brother, you were able to successfully cultivate the first gate in 13 years. This kind of talent is something that even master couldn't achieve in the past. Lin Fei's face was burning. With the help of the power of faith and the system, it would be strange if his speed was not fast. However, even though Lin Fei was thick-skinned, he still felt a little uncomfortable when she looked at him like this. Dojo master, I can tell that you are a good disciple. How about this? I'll give you the remaining 9 levels, and you can slowly cultivate. I'm a very generous person, Lin Fei said with a smile. Develop it? Lin Fei was not in the mood for that. The master of the celestial pole, Dojo, shook his head. No, junior brother, don't waste your effort. Junior brother has learned an extreme cultivation method. Just based on your aura alone, I'm afraid many people will come looking for trouble. As your senior brother, I have the obligation to help you. Moreover, my master likes to play around with life. For example, when he was alive, he offended many experts of the eternal universe. When my master was still alive, he didn't dare to act. But now, junior brother has an extreme cultivation method, as well as the treasures you stole, and even the token. Lin Fei was speechless. From the items placed in the stone house, Shui-Ying understood one thing. This ultimate cosmos god wasn't a good person. Upon hearing this, Lin Fei knew that his guess was correct. Big trouble was waiting for him. As for the ultimate cosmos gods, Lin Fei did not know much. Everything was told to him by Black Essence, and he did not explain it comprehensively. As for the specific situation, Lin Fei only knew half of it. If that's the case, it isn't a good thing for me to inherit the cultivation method and treasures of the ultimate cosmos god. Lin Fei squinted. It's a long story. The Celestial Pole Dojo said, as long as you believe that I won't harm junior brother, everything will be fine. If nothing unexpected happens, I reckon those people will come after hearing the news. Junior brother's breakthrough will soon affect several great prefectures in the vicinity. The Dark City will become a lively place. Lin Fei knew that this extreme cultivation method would definitely be popular. It seemed that many people were prepared to be tempted by it. Dojo master, there are quite a few people outside saying that they want to meet that mysterious genius. Just as he finished speaking, a disciple rushed in with a nervous expression and reported, "What are you panicking for? This is the extreme martial dojo. Who dares to act recklessly?" The Celestial Pole Dojo master casually shouted, "Retreat. Just tell them that I will be coming over in a while." The disciple retreated. "Junior brother, look. Our extreme martial dojo will be bustling with activity the moment this big piece of meat comes out." The Celestial Pole Dojo master chuckled, "But rest assured, you will be the safest in the extreme martial dojo." Lin Fei did not feel any killing intent from the other party. Even the prestige support system did not give any notification. Instead, there were many killing intents outside. One did not need to think to know what kind of people they were. Lin Fei touched his nose. "I have really become a big piece of meat. Oh, right, I want to know what these things are so that I can have an idea of what they are." With a wave of his hand, hua hua hua, everything taken out from the stone house appeared in front of the Celestial Pole Dojo master. This Celestial Pole Dojo master was dumbfounded on the spot. "Since you are willing to take them out, aren't you afraid that I will snatch them away?" The Celestial Pole Dojo Master felt that he could not see through the other party. All of these items were good stuff, and their origins were extraordinary. In fact, they even represented a sect or a family. Not just anyone could get their hands on them. At this moment, all of them were placed in front of the Celestial Pole Dojo Master. For a moment, he felt tempted to snatch them away. This fellow in front of him was truly unreasonable. Since I dared to take them out, naturally I'm not afraid. Lin Fei smiled. I have many methods. I don't think the dojo master would want to try them. That wouldn't be a good thing. The Celestial Pole Dojo Master laughed. Very few people dare to speak to me like this. You are the first. However, I like it. Are you saying that the Celestial Pole Dojo Master is not smart? Definitely not. Let me help you take a look. These things are not something that anyone can have. The Celestial Pole Dojo Master was too lazy to care about what was happening outside. He grabbed an item and examined it. This is the Tai family's Tai family scepter. It is said that the Tai family's patriarch must have this scepter in order to become the patriarch. Master is truly awesome. Lin Fei secretly took a deep breath. I hit the jackpot. An item left behind by such a master, even if it wasn't troublesome, it would still be a big problem. Chapter 3372. Dark City, outside the martial dojo of Limits. As the news spread out, many people came after hearing the news. They were blocked at the entrance. The disciples of the martial dojo of Limits did not allow them to enter. They even activated the array at the first instance to stop those who wanted to enter. Why aren't you letting us in? We want to see that person. Your martial dojo of Limits is too tyrannical. Unless you want to monopolize the treasures left behind by a peak cosmos god. Those who beat the peak were hecklers, who would not be tempted by the treasures left behind by a peak cosmos god, especially the ultimate cultivation technique. There were even rumors that that person had snatched many good things in the past, yet they disappeared in the end. It was suspected that they were kept in the treasure cove. Just this alone was enough to stir the hearts of others. It was fine if he did not appear in the world, but the moment he did, everyone would have no choice but to act. The disciples of the martial dojo of Limits were expressionless. With the array of the martial dojo who dared to barge in, this was set up by that peak cosmos god, and not anyone could barge in. Whoever did, so would die. Those outside could only talk. If they were to charge in, none would be afraid of death. The cosmos god, old ancestor, is here. That's him. Do you not want your life anymore? This is a dead cosmos god, ranked 230th on the wanted list of the eternal cosmos. The crowd outside suddenly dispersed. Everyone turned to a black-robed man walking over. They revealed expressions of panic and uneasiness. For a moment, the surrounding became empty. Jia, the black-robed man came to the entrance. His sinister voice caused the disciples of the martial dojo of Limits to feel uneasy. This was a bloodthirsty demon. Those who could be ranked on the wanted list of the eternal cosmos were not easy to deal with. I want to see your dojo master of Limits. The cold voice was filled with indifference. If he doesn't come out, there's no need for your disciples of the martial dojo of Limits to come out either. I'll kill whoever comes out. The black-robed man coldly said. The moment this dead cosmos god came out, everyone could feel the killing intent contained in his words. Death, your personality is still the same. So many years have passed, yet you haven't changed. Just as everyone was still accepting the arrival of the dead cosmos god, another voice came from the street. A white figure walked step by step. Although it seemed to be very far, he soon arrived in front of the martial dojo of Limits. The black-robed man's face was still covered by the cloak. So it's the Peach Blossom Prince. Sometimes I really want to kill you and scratch your stinky face with my own hands. When the white silhouette's appearance was revealed, everyone was shocked. It was an extremely seductive face that was not inferior to the current peerless fairy. Each and every move of hers was filled with endless temptation. Young Master Peach Blossom. Isn't that someone on the wanted list? Why is he here? One of the ultimate gods in the crowd was shocked. In the next second, a pink peach blossom bloomed on the ultimate god expert's head as his essence, vitality, and spirit were all absorbed. I hate it when people talk nonsense. The peach blossom prince made a gesture with his thumb and middle finger. No one dared to make a sound. I welcome you to kill me. If you have the ability, you can even kill me 100 times. Peach Blossom Peach giggled. That laughter made everyone shiver. The Dojo of Limits disciples couldn't stand still. 2 cosmos gods on the wanted list came at once. It had been a long time since something like this had happened in Dark City. Anyone on the wanted list would appear and disappear mysteriously. Basically, it was very rare for them to appear. But now, teacher, you have offended quite a few people. After helping Lin Fei take inventory of the items, Heaven's Limit Tavern Master let out a long sigh. Lin Fei was someone who did not know the origin of the treasures. After the inventory by Heaven's Limit Tavern Master, he understood how important the items in his hands were. That ultimate cosmos god really knew how to cause trouble. It was an unfathomable matter for him to live until he died of old age. This was absolutely a proof of his strength. That's right. You have offended quite a few people. Lin Fei nodded. Only after knowing about it did he understand how important these items were. They would absolutely drive others crazy. Tavern Master, something bad has happened. Death and young Master Peach Blossom from the wanted list are here. A trusted aide rushed in to report. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master was surprised. Why are they here? They are really fast. After dismissing the trusted aide, Heaven's Limit Tavern Master stood up. Since you have inherited the items of teacher, you are my junior disciple brother. No matter if you admit it or not, as long as you are willing to hand over the cultivation technique to me, you will forever be my junior disciple brother. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master guffawed. My junior disciple brother isn't someone anyone can touch. He turned around and left. Lin Fei also stood up, an expert on the wanted list. I also want to see just how powerful he is. That sentence of the other party was to Lin Fei's liking. Martial Dojo of Limits. The moment Cosmos God Death and young Master Peach Blossom appeared, many people did not dare to come up. For an expert on the wanted list to be able to survive until now, it was not something that just anyone could do. Which expert on the wanted list wasn't vicious and merciless? For instance, Death. He would kill when he was happy and when he was in a bad mood. Like now, other than young Master Peach Blossom and Cosmos God Death, no one dared to stand outside the martial dojo of Limits. The 2 of you are really rare guests. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master guffawed as he stood by the entrance of the martial dojo of Limits. It is Heaven's Limit Tavern Master. Why is it him who came out? Unless that black-robed man has been captured. It was unexpected that the one who came out was Heaven's Limit Tavern Master. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master. The reason why I came today is simple. It is for that black-robed man. Cosmos God Death was straightforward. As long as you hand him over, I'll owe you a favor. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master's expression could not be seen. What about you? These words made young Master Peach Blossom uncomfortable. Same here. I came for that black-robed man too. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master smiled. Junior disciple brother, quite a few people have their eyes on you. 2 experts on the wanted list came at the same time, and it seems you have been treated as a gold ingot. Junior disciple brother? Everyone was startled. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master saw a black-robed man walking over. He had black eyes and long black hair. Wasn't he the black-robed man from before? He really came out alive. I am now a human-shaped, moving treasure. Lin Fei came to the entrance with a smile. Cosmos, God Death, and young Master Peach Blossom landed on this black-robed man. He was younger than they imagined. He was a true absolute genius. That was a trial left behind by a cosmos god. Many geniuses were blocked outside the entrance. But this person succeeded. Heaven's Limit, Tavern Master said. He is my junior disciple brother. Those who want this junior disciple brother of mine will have to pass through me first. What do you think, young Master Peach Blossom? A chill swept over. Cosmos, God Death, and young Master Peach Blossom exchanged glances. Chapter 3373. The dead Cosmos God and Peach Blossom Prince stood together in the shortest time possible. He had to snatch the treasures left behind by the ultimate Cosmos God. If those big shots came, they really wouldn't dare to be so unbridled. After all, their identities were problematic, and they didn't dare to go to many places. As for those big shots, they didn't mind teaching them a lesson. One couldn't hold his ground, while the other could. The result was clear at a glance. They decisively chose to stand together and force the dojo of Limit's Heaven's Limit Dojo Master. Ha ha ha, with just you guys. The Empyrean's Fate Dojo's master laughs heartily. You really think that you're so awesome because you're on the wanted list? Why don't you take a look at what kind of place this is? Contempt. She looked at him in disdain. Death Cosmos God and Peach Blossom Prince had the same goal. The only thing he didn't expect was that the Empyrean Pole Dojo's master would recognize this person as his junior brother. Even though the Empyrean Limit Tavern Master wasn't famous in the eternal cosmos and was extremely low profile, nobody dared to underestimate this disciple of a cosmos god. Since you dare to be so impudent here, then let me see what you have up your sleeves. The Empyrean Pole Dojo's master took a step forward, and his body grew several times taller. He looked like a small giant. His fist was like a hammer as he punched out domineeringly. The phantom image of a giant hammer appeared in everyone's eyes. This is the Empyrean Pole Dojo Master's Warhammer fist technique. With just one punch, everyone's expression changed. The expressions of the Death Cosmos God and Peach Blossom Prince changed slightly. Both of them brought out their treasures. One was a death illusory figure, and the other was a peach forest. Both of them shielded the sky above. At the same time they retreated. Boom, boom, boom. When the hammer smashed into the sky above them, it transformed into thousands of fist shadows that smashed into their treasures like a torrential storm. The Death Cosmos God and Peach Blossom Prince suffered from a powerful attack at that moment. Retreat. He kept retreating. On the street, there were clear footprints, all left by them. Blood trickled down from the corner of his mouth. Experts on the wanted list are just SOSO. If you dare to make any more noise, I don't mind killing you. The Empyrean Pole Dojo's master said with a smile. Don't doubt whether I have the strength or not. Both Death Cosmos God and Peach Blossom Prince had underestimated the strength of Heaven's Limit Tavern Master. One punch was enough to injure them. The rumors were true. Relying on the martial dojo of limits, this person was incredibly powerful. Even first-step cosmos gods were not his opponent. Master of the Celestial Zenith Dojo, just wait and see. Once that brat obtains the treasure left by your master, the person who will make a move will be far beyond your capabilities. The Death Cosmos God left behind a sentence before leaving. Mr. Peach Blossom was even simpler. I will be back. The two Cosmos gods on the wanted list left in the blink of an eye. I'll welcome any of you. The voice of the Empyrean Vault Master reverberated. The people who were watching from the outside also ran away, afraid that they would become the target of his venting. At the same time, a piece of news quickly spread out. The black-clothed man had really come out. Not only that, he had also become the Empyrean's Limit Dojo Master's junior brother. The Empyrean's Limit Dojo Master seemed to want to support his new junior brother. "How is it? My fist technique?" The Empyrean Vault Master asked with a smile. Lin Fei gave him a thumbs up. Fierce, overbearing, and insufferably arrogant. Even with the two of them working together, they were barely able to block it. "Ha ha ha ha, I like hearing these words," the Empyrean Vault Master said. "It's a pity that this fist technique hasn't reached the level of teacher in the past. If it had reached the level of teacher, that fist just now would have killed them." The Warhammer fist technique. Lin Fei could see how powerful it was. That was an attack that charged straight ahead. In order to execute this fist technique, the fleshy body had to be strong to an unfathomable degree. Converging a myriad of punches into a single fist before separating the final punch was not easy to achieve. Killing a cosmos god with a single punch? If Lin Fei did not rely on the prestige system, it was impossible for him to achieve this. I wonder what level that ultimate cosmos god has reached. Lin Fei thought, I have to continue working hard. The scene at the martial dojo of Limits spread rapidly across the Dark City. After knowing about it, everyone was surprised. But after thinking about it, everything seemed logical. Obtaining a treasure left behind by an ultimate cosmos god. What was he if not a disciple? To think that they had such thoughts. With the Empyrean Vault Master acting. In addition to that fist at the entrance, nobody dared to cause a ruckus at the martial dojo of Limits. If that person were to act, few cosmos gods could obtain any benefits. The Death Cosmos God and Peach Blossom Prince were the best proof. With the support from the martial dojo of Limits, the strength of the Empyrean Vault Master could reach the second level of Cosmos God. Ordinary first-step Cosmos gods had to step aside. The Empyrean Vault Master has acted in the end. Luo Genting chuckled as he heard the report. This is good. He dares to take the risk to protect the black-robed men. Those people will definitely work together to tear the martial dojo of Limits apart. Luo Genting was helpless against an independent superpower like the martial dojo of Limits. This person rarely went out. Other than to cultivate, he rarely appeared. Those who were not clear of him would not know of his existence. City Master, should we continue watching? There were 3 cosmos gods in front of Luo Genting. They were his subordinates. Right, we should continue watching. We shouldn't get involved in this matter. Luo Genting said, if nothing unexpected happens, those big characters should be coming soon. For instance, the Star River Mansion, who asked the ultimate cosmos god to do so many great things in the past. He relied on his strength, and now he is gone. But who doesn't want to get those treasures back? The Empyrean Vault Master has really thought it through. Nobody is willing for a second ultimate cosmos god to appear. Currently, he is like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. He is overestimating his strength. Luo Genting clapped and cheered for being able to get rid of this independent superpower. Arrange for people to keep a close watch on that fellow to prevent him from escaping. Within the martial dojo of Limits, Lin Fei temporarily did not leave. Hearing the words of the Empyrean Vault Master, he felt that he should not leave. Furthermore, none of the treasures he had were simple. If he did not resolve this matter, it would definitely be a huge problem. The Empyrean Vault Master stood up for him. Lin Fei was not a fool and naturally knew what this meant. This was equivalent to carrying a huge burden on his back, and the martial dojo of Limits would become the target of attack. Lin Fei wasn't someone who was afraid of death. Even if those big characters came, there was nothing for him to worry about, since he was not someone to be trifled with. This Empyrean Vault Master is quite considerate. He even sent over information on the Cosmos God level. Lin Fei did not know much about the Cosmos God level. Information on this aspect did not circulate much, and it seemed to be tightly controlled. It was not easy to get his hands on it, but he could barely pry through the secrets of the Cosmos God level. Now that he took the initiative to send a copy over, Lin Fei naturally wanted to study it. From the combat experience he gained from the peak cultivation technique, Xue Ying could see that the combat style of Cosmos Gods had changed. Chapter 3374. Martial Dojo of Limits, Limit Arena. Even though the trial of the Limit Arena had disappeared, this arena still existed. At this moment, there were two people clashing on the arena. The shock waves from the clash clashed against the barrier of the Limit Arena, causing many ripples to form. Such frightening strength! Dojo Master is formidable. Who says he isn't? Dojo Master is the disciple of Forefather, and he specializes in close combat. That black-robed man is formidable too. His fleshy body isn't any weaker than the Dojo Master. No wonder he could become the junior disciple brother of the Dojo Master. The surrounding of the Limit Arena was currently filled with disciples from the Martial Dojo of Limits. Their faces were filled with worship as they looked at the two fighting on the arena. The two on the arena did not use any treasures from start to end. They were purely clashing with their fleshy bodies, and any angle could be used as a killing weapon. Awesome. After another clash, the two of them separated and stood at one end, gasping for breath. Just previously, they had clashed more than 10,000 times. That consumption was huge, and neither could withstand it. I haven't felt so refreshed for a very long time. Heaven's Limit, Tavern Master panted. You are indeed someone who could pass through the trial of teacher. Lin Fei was also panting, me too. Without using the prestige support system, Lin Fei fought to his heart's content. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master was a good opponent. Ever since he flipped through the information on the Cosmos God level, Lin Fei felt something in his heart. Thus, he proposed to spar with Heaven's Limit Tavern Master. After that, they would fight on the arena every day, and the Limit Arena was able to withstand the explosive strength of their fleshy bodies. They would stop every time. It was inevitable that there would be some injuries on their bodies. To them, this kind of injury was really nothing. Junior Disciple Brother, your close combat experience is very rich. I don't have much to teach you. Lin Fei and Heaven's Limit Tavern Master were soaking in a medicinal pool. This medicinal pool was famous. It was personally constructed by a final Cosmos God. Many world treasures were added in, and ordinary deities would explode in less than 3 breaths of time. Only people like Lin Fei and the Empyrean Pole Dojo's master could withstand it and absorb the effects of the medicine. Thank you for your guidance, Master. A battle at the Cosmos God level wasn't as grand as one would imagine. On the contrary, at this level, the battles had also become more subdivided. For instance, Heaven's Limit Tavern Master was a close combat cultivator. Within the eternal cosmos, very few people like to engage in close combat, especially those powerful existences like the ultimate Cosmos Gods. Once such an expert got close to you, you wouldn't be able to block him. The other school of thought was the school of spells. Battles at the Cosmos God level were different. These were the 2 biggest battle sections. As for the other sects, their influence was average. Cosmos Gods were also divided into 3 levels. The first level was to condense a world within one's body. With a world, one's body would produce world energy. World energy was a special kind of energy, and at the first step it could quickly heal one's injuries. The second level was to use the power of the world. The power of the world contained an extremely strong power. When it was unleashed, its might was very formidable. The third level, world form, perfection. Reaching this level, the perfect world could give birth to all sorts of treasures. You would become the sole god of this world. The first 2 levels were easy, but the third level was too difficult. I've just received news that someone from the Star River Mansion is here. You have an item that belongs to them, and now they are here to take it back. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master brought over 2 cups of wine and passed one to Lin Fei. Lin Fei took a sip in satisfaction. You want me to hand it over? Heaven's Limit Tavern Master glanced at Lin Fei. This will depend on you. The influence of the Star River Mansion is huge. Unless junior disciple brother plans to conceal your identity and roam the world. Lin Fei smiled. Actually, things aren't that bad. I wonder if Dojo Master can help me spread the news that I'm planning on auctioning all my treasures at the Dojo of Limits in Dark City in a month. You want to auction it? Heaven's Limit Tavern Master could not understand. Of course. Lin Fei said, those items are useless to me. As for me, I like the power of faith a lot. If anyone can take out the power of faith, I will be happy to sell it to them. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master was momentarily speechless, auctioning off the treasures collected by his master. This idea really made him speechless. After thinking about it carefully, Heaven's Limit Tavern Master felt that this bold idea was quite reasonable. If he auctioned it off, he believed that those who were hostile to him would definitely be happy to do it. Anyone would be willing to do something that could make their enemy unhappy. Aren't you afraid that doing this will attract huge trouble? Heaven's Limit Tavern Master asked in a serious tone. Lin Fei chuckled. I'm not afraid of trouble. All right, I'll help you with this matter. In the Extreme Tavern, they really wouldn't dare to cause any trouble. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master laughed. I'm very happy to do anything that can make them unhappy. I believe that if my master knew about this, he would also be very happy. Let's see them fight each other, hee. With a series of actions by Heaven's Limit Tavern Master, this news soon spread across the restaurants and inns. At the same time, the Extreme Martial School posted an announcement. There was only one meaning on it. A month later, the Extreme Martial School would be auctioning off the treasures left behind by the old ancestor. As for what the treasures were, it was not mentioned. Those who knew about it were clear. When this news was released, everyone was shocked into a mess. They could not understand why the Extreme Martial School would do this. This was simply offending everyone. Unless that Heaven's Limit Tavern Master wanted to become the public enemy? In the past, the ultimate cosmos god could. But the current Heaven's Limit Tavern Master, no matter how one looked at it, was clearly lacking. He could not reproduce the glory of that old ancestor. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master is seeking death. After Luo Junting heard it, he sneered, I really wonder how he came up with such a foolish idea. That ultimate cosmos god came to the Dark City in the past and constructed the Limit Arena. Eventually, he died in meditation. After he died, many experts attempted to invade the Limit Martial Dojo, yet none succeeded. Instead, a batch of them were killed by that ultimate cosmos god. From then on, nobody dared to have such thoughts. This time, Heaven's Limit Tavern Master dared to auction off the treasures left behind by an ultimate cosmos god. That was akin to slapping everyone's faces, and none of them would be happy about it. That ultimate cosmos god beat up many people in the past, causing him to have enemies all over the world. Many organizations that suffered losses did not dare to publicize it. If he were to auction off the treasures this time, where would they put their faces? Heaven's Limit Tavern Master had poked a hornet's nest. Chapter 3375. After the automatic message was sent out, several great prefectures in the vicinity received the news at the first instance. The treasure left behind by a peak cosmos god in the past had been taken out. This was not the main point. What was important was that Bastard wanted to auction it. Auction. Nobody could accept this, especially those clans and sects which had their treasures stolen in the past. At this moment, none of them could remain calm. Needless to say, those clans and superpowers had sent their elders over to the wasteland of death. This place, which had been forgotten by others, had become extremely lively. Being the only entrance to the wasteland of death, a group of people would appear every once in a while from the Star River Prefecture. These people had extraordinary origins. Everyone knew that something huge was about to happen in the Wasteland of Death. As the natives of the Wasteland of Death, they were unlucky. These people were very daring. During this period of time, they had ambushed the teams, yet they were all killed. Very soon, the natives hid themselves, and the entire wasteland of death entered a temporary state of peace. Luo Genting, the city master of the Dark City, was not idle either. He was constantly inviting people. Being the city master of this place, coupled with his cosmos god strength, nobody dared to belittle this Luo Genting. "Guard Captain Bai, you are finally here!" Luo Genting received an esteemed guest. He was none other than Guard Captain Bai from the Star River Guard. "Luo City Master, it is rare for this dark city of yours to be lively." Guard Captain Bai smiled insincerely. Luo Genting pretended to have a headache. "Ai, let's not talk about it. This matter is terrible. Currently, many big shots have gathered in the Dark City, and even I, the City Master, have to stand by the side." Guard Captain Bai guffawed. "Luo City Master, how can we be friends? As long as you manage the people in the Dark City well, those big shots won't make things difficult for you. By then, I'll help you put in a good word for them. I believe they will give you face." Luo Genting felt grateful. "Many thanks, Guard Captain Bai. Oh right, this is the person we discovered. I wonder if he is the person Guard Captain Bai wants." A recording stone was brought out. Guard Captain Bai took it and looked inside. "Luo City Master, I have to thank you this time. This person is the murderer of the Li clan." Luo Genting chuckled. "It is also a coincidence for us, but this person has a mysterious origin. Currently, he has formed a relationship with that celestial pole tavern master and even obtained a treasure left behind by a cosmos god. Captain White, you should pay attention to him." Imperial Guard Captain Bai coldly snorted. "If it were a limitless cosmos god, we would naturally give him some face. But who does Celestial Pole Tavern Master think he is? If our Celestial River Guard wants to capture someone, nobody would dare to not hand him over." After confirming the identity of the person, Captain Bai didn't stay for long before he left. He was very satisfied with Luo Genting's performance. A fellow who came from a small place dares to impersonate a huge clan, but he has quite a lot of treasures on him. He could even pass the trial of a peak cosmos god. As soon as Guard Bai came out, the corners of his mouth slightly curled up. He turned around and mounted his mount. "To the Dojo of Limits. Governor, if we do this, won't we offend Captain Bai, or even those people?" Within the City Master residence, a trusted aide asked. Luo Genting was in a good mood. He glanced at his trusted aide. "This is me giving a contribution to Captain Bai. This place is closest to the Celestial River Guard, and we can't interfere. But that doesn't mean the Celestial River Guard can't. As for those huge clans, it is the same. Who knows, they might even be rewarded after this matter is completed." Luo Genting could not eat such a huge piece of meat and did not dare to do so, but the Celestial River Guard could. This show is getting more and more interesting. Dojo of Limits. Following the news of the auction, there were many people watching outside the dojo every day. According to the news, everyone knew that the black-robed man was going to auction the treasures left behind by a peak cosmos god. Even though it was vague, everyone could hear it. "Madman." This was what everyone was thinking. Many scouts were currently watching the Dojo of Limits. The houses opposite and even nearby had all been bought at a high price. One could say that the entire Dojo of Limits had been surrounded. Every single movement could not be hidden from the eyes of the scouts. How many people do you think will come this time? Who knows? But we can at least confirm one thing. There will definitely be many big characters. Who knows? It might be a rare gathering of cosmos gods. Hurry up and look. There seems to be a group of people coming. Wait, that seems to be the Celestial River Guard. This time, Captain Bai did not bring many people with him. There were only 50 of them, and they formed a small team. Even though there were not many people, with equipment and status of the Celestial River Guard, nobody dared to take the initiative to act against them. This was a superpower controlled by the Holy Church. Who would dare to belittle them? Captain Bai understood the thoughts of that city master. He was merely using him as a tool. This news came not too early nor too late, yet he did not know what to say. Capturing a person who killed a disciple of the Li clan was a small matter to Captain Bai. But now it was different. A small matter turned into a big matter, and a big matter turned into a good thing. Sir, the dojo of limits is right in front. Captain Bai was clear about the dojo of limits. In the past, that person was the shit stirrer of the eternal cosmos, causing many to suffer. But it was such a person that nobody could do anything to. The word limit gave everyone a great deal of pressure. Captain Bai brought his people to the front of the dojo of limits. Immediately a subordinate came. We are from the Celestial River Guard. Open the formation immediately. The Celestial River Guard was always this straightforward. When the disciple guarding the gate heard this, his legs trembled. Celestial River Guard. Dojo Master, this is bad. Just as Lin Fei and the Heavens Limit Dojo Master were chatting, the disciple rushed in with a pale face. Celestial River Guard, the Celestial River Guard is here. The disciple pointed outside. They are coming in. In the eternal cosmos, no matter what kind of guard it was, they could not be offended. They represented the orthodox position, and nobody would not be afraid of them. When the Heavens Limit Dojo Master heard this, he frowned. Why are they here? I don't know either. The disciple shook his head. If other big shots came, the Heavens Limit Dojo Master would not be worried. However, the Celestial River Guard was different. They were more tyrannical and stood on the side of reason. This matter is going to be troublesome. The Heavens Limit Dojo Master stood up. Are the Celestial River Guards so frightening? Lin Fei could feel a strand of uneasiness from this person. The Heavens Limit Dojo Master was not angered. He explained, You don't know how formidable the Celestial River Guards are. In the eternal cosmos, clans and sects can be offended, but those with guards can't be offended, especially the eternal guards. They specialize in suppressing cosmos gods and are the #1 combat power. At the same time, they are a sharp sword pressing down on everyone. If that was the case, everything was normal. Chapter 3376. Guard Leader Bai brought the Star River Guard to the entrance of the Extreme Martial School. The news spread like the wind. It's good that the Star River Guard came. Who said it wasn't? Let's see if the Extreme Martial School has any other methods, unless they want to become enemies with the Star River Guard. Those who become enemies with the Star River Guard won't have a good ending. Those hiding in the distance began rejoicing in the misfortune of the Extreme Martial School. Everyone hoped that the Extreme Martial School would suffer. Barge in? They didn't dare to. The Heavens Limit Dojo Master was strengthened within the Extreme Martial School. Without seeing Peach Blossom Prince and Death Cosmos God suffer, he didn't dare to barge in. One could see what kind of impression the Extreme Martial School had in the hearts of the masses. Guard Leader Bai soon met the Heavens Limit Dojo Master. Heavens Limit Dojo Master, I thought you wouldn't dare to come out. Guard Leader Bai said arrogantly. The Heavens Limit Dojo Master prepared himself, but this Guard Leader Bai didn't give him any face. He smiled. Sir Bai is too serious. I'm more than happy that the Star River Guard is here. Guard Leader Bai snorted. It's good that you know. My motive this time is simple. That junior disciple brother of yours has committed a huge crime. Are you going to bring him out yourself? Or should I bring someone to bring him out? Direct and tyrannical, the Star River Guard was indeed domineering. Standing behind them was the Eternal Church, the ruler of this cosmos. Arresting someone was just a matter of a few words. There was a saying in the eternal cosmos, you can offend anyone, but don't offend the church. At that time, it would be hard for you to survive. Everyone had a deep understanding of this saying. Countless people had fallen in the hands of the church. Everyone was waiting to see how the Heavens Limit Dojo Master would reply. If he was careless, the Extreme Martial School would be in trouble. Nobody could resist against the Star River Guard. They represented the general trend. If they said you are guilty, then you are guilty. The Heaven's Limit Dojo master's expression tightened. Ah! He committed a huge crime. How can this be? He went into closed-door cultivation not long ago, saying that he wanted to comprehend something. If it's true, I will definitely not agree. Closed-door cultivation? Guard leader Bai coldly said. That's right. He said that he recently comprehended something and went into closed-door cultivation. Guard leader Bai didn't wish for this trip to be in vain. He believed that the leader would not dare to cheat him. Capture. Guard captain Bai did not dare to delay. It would be strange if he didn't have any secret treasures on him. He said he was going into seclusion. But he might actually be running away. If he ran away this time, he didn't know how long it would take to catch him again. He didn't want to be labeled as incompetent. Because of this matter, the Li family had urged him several times. If they could bring him back, it would definitely be a great merit. The Empyrean Vault Master personally led the way. The Dojo of Limits could be considered a small space. It was no different from Senfu. Similarly, there were many great formations set up inside, and there was a dangerous aura everywhere. Guard Captain Bai wasn't worried at all. The Celestial River Guard was a huge flag. Even if the Empyrean Embassy Master was given 100 guts, he still wouldn't dare to make a move. Moreover, there were so many people outside. Suppress me? It wasn't that easy. Captain Bai was very indifferent, walking at a moderate pace. Seal. Rumble. The Empyrean Pole Tavern Master, who was walking in front, suddenly disappeared. A large array appeared out of nowhere and descended above the white guard captain, forming a sealed space. Empyrean Pole Tavern Master, you've got guts! Under the cover of the large array, the Celestial River Guard behind Captain Bai immediately reacted. They took out a treasure and created an independent space. The Empyrean Pole Tavern Master reappeared, worthy of being a Celestial River Guard. Their reaction speed is so fast. The Empyrean Pole Tavern Master has always been afraid of the Celestial River Guard. This time, for his junior brother, he was willing to risk it all. But you shouldn't have made a move against my junior brother. Since you're here, there's no need to leave. Captain Bai was very calm. You think you can trap me like this? Not to mention, the people outside saw me bringing people in. If anything happens, your dojo of limits won't have a good ending. Then what if I don't kill you? The Empyrean Pole Tavern Master said, for example, controlling you. Coincidentally, Master left behind a technique to do so. Captain Bai laughed. Not bad, not bad. You've got guts to want to control me. No one has ever dared to say such words. Now, I'll let you experience the power of the Celestial River Guard. The Celestial River Guard made his move. With a set of combined attack techniques, all of them turned into a black stream of light. The stream of light spun continuously, causing the entire space to tremble in an instant. Attack Breaking Array. The Empyrean Pole Tavern Master controlled the array. All kinds of restrictions attacked the Celestial River Guard's array. Seeing the Celestial River Guard's attack breaking array, the Empyrean Pole Tavern Master secretly took a deep breath. Even the Celestial River Guard has mastered this. Empyrean Pole Tavern Master, how is it? How is our Celestial River Guard's attack breaking array? Captain Bai laughed. Under the attack of the attack breaking array, the array enveloping them was slowly torn apart. This was a very special attack technique. The perfect array was slowly shaking. The gap became bigger and bigger. The array became unstable. In this world, no array can stop the attack of the attack-breaking array. Captain Bai said proudly, originally I didn't plan to deal with you so quickly. Since you took the initiative, I can only say that your luck is bad. The array continued to collapse. The Empyrean Pole Tavern Master summoned another array and enveloped the array that was on the verge of collapse. Your Celestial River Guard's attack-breaking array is indeed powerful. It can even find a flaw in Master's array. I wonder if Lord Bai will still have the confidence to destroy your Celestial River Guard. The Empyrean Pole Tavern Master charged in. With a wave of his hand, he blasted out a warhammer art. Captain Bai seemed to have expected that the Empyrean Pole Tavern Master would make a move. "If you want to kill them, you will have to ask me first." A sharp saber light slashed over. This saber light was very thin as it slashed towards the Empyrean Pole Tavern Master's wrist. Rip! The saber light was even faster than the Empyrean Pole Tavern Master's fist. Fresh blood flowed down as a wound appeared on the Empyrean Pole Tavern Master's wrist. "How does it feel?" Captain Bai wielded his saber and slashed at the Empyrean Pole Tavern Master. His movements were extremely fast. In an instant, the Empyrean Pole Tavern Master was enveloped by the saber light. His powerful fleshly body was sliced open. After several attacks, the Empyrean Pole Tavern Master was unable to break through the saber light. This is the Cosmos Saber art inherited from the Holy See. It is specially used to deal with body refinement experts. This weapon is even bestowed by the Holy See. It can increase one's speed. Regardless of which one it is, it will be able to restrain you. Captain Bai's attack was fast, and his saber art was sharp and overbearing. He was almost sticking to the Empyrean Pole Tavern Master. Chapter 3377. The Empyrean Pole Dojo Master and Guard Captain Bai exchanged moves very quickly. All of this fell into Lin Fei's eyes. With the upgrade system, Lin Fei had a clearer view of the situation. He was actually very surprised by the Empyrean Pole Dojo's method. He originally thought that there would be a solution, but it turned out to be this. This Captain Bai is also very powerful. The other party's Cosmos Saber arts were very powerful, and every single one of them was incomparably sharp. Just like what he said, they specialized in breaking through body refinement. The Cosmos Divine weapon in his hands was also very impressive, and it could indirectly increase his attack speed. With their assistance, Guard Captain Bai had an even greater advantage. The fighting strength of the Empyrean Skypole Dojo's master was also explosive. His strength was ferocious and frightening. However, it just so happened that he encountered Captain Bai's saber technique, which was able to restrain him to a certain extent. Although Captain Bai had the upper hand, he was still unable to defeat the Empyrean Pole Dojo Master in a short period of time. That powerful fleshy body was filled with many blade scars, yet he could not injure Celestial Peak Tavern Master at all. This was a battle between cosmos gods. If it wasn't absolute power, it wouldn't be that easy to suppress. The formation is about to break. The Celestial River Guard's breaking array was an eye-opener for Lin Fei. To think that such a method existed in the universe. Fierce. Absolutely fierce to the point of being a complete mess. I can't let this continue. This matter started because of me. I can't let the Empyrean Pole Dojo's master take the blame. Moreover, the Imperial Guard captain has come this time. His status in the Celestial River Guard isn't low. Such a character is truly a good thing. Lin Fei laughed. Guard Captain Bai continued to attack the Empyrean Pole Dojo Master. The Universe Saber technique was executed without restraint. The Empyrean Fate Dojo's master was constantly in the middle of the Saber technique's attacks. Every saber light was like the wind. Master of the Empyrean Pole Dojo, your great array is about to be broken. Your disciples will be slaughtered. It's a pity if they die. If you surrender now, you can spare their lives. Bodyguard Bai slashed with his saber and glanced at the formation that was about to be broken. Shameless. With a thought, the Empyrean Pole Dojo's master suffered several more wounds on his body. Dream on. The Empyrean Pole Dojo master kept smashing his fists against the incoming blade lights. Unfortunately, the blade lights had a certain degree of penetration. Seal. A low voice sounded in everyone's ears. A vast expanse of white cold air appeared. The cold air landed on the Celestial River Guard's body at an extremely fast speed. At the same time, it passed through the spatial protection, and a layer of white frost appeared on the soles of his feet and quickly covered his entire body. The speed at which the cold air covered was extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, the celestial river guards had all turned into ice sculptures. "Who is it?" Guard Captain Bai brandished his sword in an impenetrable manner in an attempt to block the onslaught of the cold air. However, when the blade light struck the cold air, the blade light was completely frozen. The cold continued to invade. The white guard captain retreated. The terrifying cold intent gushed over. His cosmos divine weapons started to be covered in cold chi, turning into a sheet of ice. His strength was unable to withstand the cold chi, and the cold chi flowed along the blade of his saber, forcing him to give up on his cosmos divine weapon. The owner of the Empyrean Pole Dojo was also dumbfounded. This cold chi made him feel fearful, and it was a kind of cold chi that couldn't be resisted. Captain Bai retreated quickly, but he couldn't withstand the speed of the cold air. First, it hit his feet. After shattering them, the cold air continued to cover his lower body, and finally his upper body. I am actually frozen." How powerful was the white guard captain! Yet, at this moment, he couldn't move at all. Only his head was left, and his entire body was no different from an ice sculpture. Heaven's Limit Dojo Master, there is actually such an expert hidden in your dojo. The frozen white guard captain did not die. All the energy in his body was frozen. At this moment, the Heaven's Limit Dojo Master was confused. Other than him, there were no other experts in his Limit Dojo. But the current situation was truly out of his expectations. "Sir White, my teacher has passed away in meditation. Naturally, he would leave behind some techniques. Are you convinced of your defeat?" The Heaven's Limit Dojo Master seemed to have guessed who the other party was. Thus, he acted mysterious as he spoke to the white guard captain. Good. I have truly underestimated you." The white guard captain felt his heart trembling. He had truly forgotten about the fame of the ultimate cosmos god in the past. That person was famous across the entire eternal cosmos. But your Limit Dojo should be prepared to wait for the revenge of the celestial river guards. Just a moment ago, I have already sent out the news that you are dead. After a huge somersault, the white guard captain looked at the Heaven's Limit Dojo Master with eyes filled with killing intent and resentment. "Then I am truly sorry. This news of yours can no longer be sent out." Within the array, a figure walked out. It was a smiling Lin Fei. "I have to thank you for sending me such a talent from afar." "It's you. You killed someone from the Li clan." The white guard captain seemed to have understood something. "Just now it was you who acted." This was the first time the Heaven's Limit Dojo Master discovered that he had underestimated this junior disciple brother of his. The other party was much more mysterious than he had imagined. This white guard captain had a combat power that even he could not suppress, yet he could not even block a single move from his junior disciple brother. Such unfathomable methods. You guessed it. Lin Fei beamed. The Li clan is truly persevering. They could actually find out who I am. What a pity that they sent the wrong person. Don't be too pleased with yourself. Today your extreme dojo is finished. And you brat, no matter what methods you use, the Star River Guard will not let you off. The white guard captain sneered. You sealed me in ice because you don't dare to kill me. Now you better let us go. Maybe I will leave your corpse intact. Ha, intact corpse? In your dreams. Lin Fei shook his head. I'm not going to talk nonsense with you. Enslave. Lin Fei extended his hands and drew two strange runes. A Jingguang rushed out from the runes and entered the terrified white guard captain's body. The white guard captain's face turned sinister. You, don't even think about it. The white guard captain, who was resisting with all his might, could not last for more than 3 breaths of time. His expression suddenly changed, and the ice on his body dissipated. By Aojian Greet's master! His expression became incomparably fanatical. The heavens limit dojo master sucked in a breath of cold air. Junior disciple brother, you controlled him. Lin Fei nodded. That's right. The heavens limit dojo master secretly rejoiced that he didn't have any thoughts about this junior disciple brother. Mysterious. This was the heavens limit dojo master's words. He couldn't even see through such a method. It was as if it appeared out of thin air. Junior disciple brother is amazing. If master knew, he would definitely be very happy. The heavens limit dojo master smiled. What about the others? Just kill them. Lin Fei said, as long as the white guard captain is here, everything will be fine. Bai Outyan lowered his head. Master is right. It doesn't matter if a mere Star River guard dies, as long as someone is willing to take the blame. Then, who do you think can do it? Dark City's city, Lord Luo Junting. Bai Outyan said, Chapter 30, 378. Star River Guard Captain brought his men into the dojo of limits. Who knows how many people were secretly gloating. The only thing he was unhappy about was that the Star River Guard had beaten him to it. The items left behind by the ultimate cosmos gods had landed in the hands of the Celestial River Guards, and it was not an easy task to get them out. On one hand, everyone was gloating. On the other hand, they were conflicted. Should they ambush the Star River Guard? It was a very simple question. Unfortunately, no matter how they thought about it, they couldn't find a suitable method. The Star River Guards were not easy to deal with. From the bottom of their hearts, they only hoped that the dojo of limits and the Star River Guard would have a big fight. It would be best if both sides suffered heavy losses. That would be the happiest thing for everyone. Maybe they could even call their friends and have a few drinks. The dojo of limits looked calm and peaceful. If it wasn't for the dojo of limits formation, they really wouldn't mind going in to take a look. Soon a day had passed. Guard Bai still didn't come out, nor did he see anyone from the dojo of limits. Everyone's hearts were hanging in suspense. Everyone wanted to know the final result. No one thought the dojo of limits would resist. They were from the Eternal Church, after all. Just hearing the words Eternal Church was enough to move anyone, let alone attack. They're out. In the middle of the night, the White Guard captain from the Extreme Dojo came out. Behind him was the Heavens Pole Dojo's master. The two were chatting and laughing, but they didn't see the black-clothed man. Strange. Why did Guard Captain Bai come out empty-handed? What about him? Don't tell me he's been killed. When the people in the distance saw this, they were all stunned. Then, they couldn't help but feel a burst of joy. It was good that they didn't catch him. Guard Bai brought his people and left the dojo of limits. The people who followed him saw the captain of the White Guard leave the Dark City. His actions were truly unexpected. Was this the end of it? No matter how one looked at it, it was inconceivable. Isn't that man in black at the dojo of limits? For a moment, everyone couldn't help but admire the methods of the Empyrean Pole, dojo's master. That guard captain Bai had a great background, yet he was still able to convince him in such a situation. If this wasn't a good method, then what else could it be? Not good. The Star River Guard has been ambushed outside. Not long after the Star River Guard left, a piece of bad news spread. Some people saw Captain Bai returning to the Dark City with injuries all over his body. Everyone's heart tightened when they saw this scene. They all started guessing who had the guts to make such a move. Was it worth it? Regardless of whether it was worth it or not, something big had happened. Anyone who dared to make a move against the Celestial River Guards would never have a good ending. The big shots of Darkness City started to worry, and they started to suspect each other. They were even cursing each other in their hearts for being stupid. How could they make a move at a time like this? That was a Star River Guard. Guard Captain Bai has gone to the city, Lord's mansion. The spy keeping an eye on Captain Bai once again sent back bad news. City, Lord Luo Junting did this? Everyone had the same thought. The people of Dark City could no longer remain calm. This was akin to playing with fire. In the city, Lord residence. Luo Junting was in a good mood. It was rare for him to find a group of dancers, and they danced in front of him. Their melodious voices echoed throughout the city lord's mansion, and the city lord closed his eyes in satisfaction. Master of the Empyrean Pole Dojo, if you had sided with me, you wouldn't be in such trouble now. What a pity! With his eyes closed, Luo Junting could already imagine the end of the Dojo of Limits. Regardless of whether the Empyrean's Limit Dojo's master resisted or not, he had ways to make sure that the Empyrean's Limit Dojo's master didn't have a good time. At the very least, he wouldn't be able to escape from harboring a criminal. Pung pung pung! Suddenly, a few muffled sounds could be heard. It was as if something had smashed in. The surrounding dancers screamed in fear. Luo Junting's mood turned bad. He opened his eyes and said, "That bastard!" Before he could finish a sentence, a cold face appeared in his field of vision. If it wasn't Guard Captain Bai, who else could it be? "Master Bai, it's a misunderstanding." "It's really a misunderstanding." Luo Junting originally thought it was that disobedient subordinate. Who would have thought that it was Guard Captain Bai? He really wanted to give himself a slap. At this moment, Guard Captain Bai was in a sorry state. "City Lord Luo, you're really good. Using me as a knife, and then releasing the news to arrange for people to surround me. You really have guts. It seems like you're too stable as a city lord." Guard Captain Bai coldly stared at Luo Junting. Only now did Luo Junting notice Guard Captain Bai's appearance. His face suddenly changed. Even if he was stupid, he would have realized that he had gotten into big trouble today. "Master Bai, listen to my explanation. This matter isn't like what you said." Of course, Luo Junting had to explain. If he didn't, he would have to face the revenge of the Star River Guard, and the city lord could forget about leaving. If he was targeted by the Star River Guard, the 3 subordinates would definitely deal with him. Luo Junting didn't understand how things had turned out this way. Explanation? Bai Outyen sneered. With a flip of his hand, his weapon appeared in his hand, and he slashed. "Master Bai, listen to my explanation. This is a misunderstanding. I would never do such a thing. You're a Star River Guard. Even if you gave me 100 guts, I wouldn't dare." A set of battle armor floated in front of Luo Junting. The moment he put it on, he noticed that this battle armor, which he had spent a lot of money to obtain, was covered in countless scars. It was a ghastly sight. Luo Junting knew that Guard Captain Bai's saber technique was impressive, but after experiencing it for himself, he realized how terrifying it was. Every attack was so powerful that he couldn't even resist. "It's a misunderstanding. You really know how to talk. If it weren't for you, this lord wouldn't have been injured and ambushed. If you don't give me a reasonable explanation today, don't even think about becoming a city lord. Prepare to become a corpse." Bai Outyen's saber technique came from the Eternal Church. Luo Junting had been taken advantage of by his opponent. Now that he was a step behind, he could only passively defend. Blade after blade landed on Luo Junting's body. Luo Junting couldn't resist at all. Luo Junting was clear that he had been tricked. However, he had no idea how to solve the problem in front of him. From the looks of it, if he couldn't solve it today, he would definitely die. Under Guard Captain Bai's saber technique, Luo Junting had no chance of winning. Dojo of Limits. Lin Fei was currently watching an exciting scene. Through Bai Outyen, Mo Wuji was able to see everything that happened in Dark City clearly. Under the envelopment of Bai Outyen's saber technique, this Cosmos God City Lord was completely suppressed. "How dare you leak information? Serves you right." Lin Fei was rather curious. After asking around, he found out that Luo Junting was the one who found Bai Outyen. He had to vent his anger. Hence, this scene happened. He wanted to make this Dark City Lord scapegoat, and at the same time, extort some faith energy from him. Dark City is going to admit defeat. Under Bai Outyen's words, Luo Junting decisively chose to admit defeat. If he was killed on the spot, it would be a huge loss. 10 breaths later, Luo Junting admitted defeat. He allowed the saber to be placed on his neck. Cold sweat flowed down his back, and he didn't even dare to breathe loudly. Lord Bai, as long as you let me off and spare my life, I will agree to any condition. At this crucial moment, this person was an intelligent person. In order to live, he was willing to pay a huge price. Chapter 3379. Dojo of Limits. Lin Fei received the faith energy sent by Ao Tian. This time, Luo Junting had paid a huge price. Facing Ao Tian, he had to hand over all his faith energy. It was equivalent to more than 60 billion faith energy. Lin Fei was not satisfied with this number. He was still a city lord, yet he did not have much wealth. He could not even compare to the myriad god great continent or the marine clan. He could barely make do with it. After all, not everyone in the eternal universe could use the power of faith. For instance, Ao Tian did not need it. Cultivating faith energy was a cultivation technique from the previous era. In this era, there were all sorts of cultivation techniques, and it was as though 100 flowers were blooming. After being extorted once, Luo Junting was now well behaved. He would most likely not dare to do anything for a long time. After Ao Tian made a feint, he decided to stay in the city lord residence. The reason was simple. He had to know who was the culprit. With such a huge mountain suppressing him, Luo Junting sent out people to search for clues. No matter what, he had to find the culprit. The auction of the Dojo of Limits did not stop. This was good news to everyone who would wish for the Star River Guard to capture the culprit. Fortunately, Guard Leader Bai announced that he was not here to capture the culprit. As for the reason, everyone could only guess. The date of the auction was getting closer. Many important figures arrived. All the houses around the Dojo of Limits were bought at a high price. Nobody dared to come here for fear of offending someone. These important figures were all powerful existences in the eternal cosmos. Even if they had not seen each other before, they would have heard of each other. They were extremely powerful. After these important figures came to the Dark City, they did not do anything. Instead, they were very quiet. The scene of them taking action the moment they arrived did not appear. From this, it could be seen that these important figures were not shallow. Take action? Who would dare to do so? Many of the items in the hands of that person belonged to the big sections. If someone were to snatch them away, wouldn't it make those important figures feel uncomfortable? Hence, whoever took action would be the first to be unlucky. Furthermore, the Dojo of Limits was not that easy to break. Who dared to guarantee that the martial Dojo of Limits left behind by ultimate cosmos gods did not have any killing moves? Until now, nobody dared to try it out. That year's mistake was still vivid in everyone's mind. They didn't want to be that stupid son of a bitch. On the day of the auction, the big shots appeared one after another. Sect Leader Qin, why are you here in person? Join in the fun. Lao Wang, we haven't seen each other for a long time. Could the rumors from back then be true? Your things are here too? The big shots of today all had complicated feelings. This was especially true when they met old friends or enemies. A casual word from them could make them lose all face. Everyone knew that this was no ordinary auction. To put it nicely, he was here to redeem the treasures he had lost in the past, and he was here to buy them back no matter the price. As for causing trouble, they also wanted to, but some people wouldn't let them. For example, those sworn enemies. Many of the big shots here today were sworn enemies. If they could buy the treasures and break the seals, it wouldn't be a good thing for anyone. When the big shots entered the Dojo of Limits, their expressions were ugly, but they had to squeeze out a smile. Who would feel comfortable if something that happened a long time ago was revealed again? If possible, they wanted to beat that mysterious black-robed man to death. Of all the things he could have done, why did he have to do this? Great, now they were caught by their sworn enemies. Displeased, extremely displeased. Within the Dojo of Limits, A temporary auction was set up. It was very simple. Nobody cared about it, especially when they saw their sworn enemies. Everyone was very rational and restrained. They understood the purpose of coming this time, and no matter what, they had to get the treasures back. It was a very simple goal. If they really wanted to do it, it would be very difficult. They didn't even dare to guarantee it in their hearts. Even though some of the big shots seated here had their faces covered, it was still possible to guess their origins. It wasn't easy to offend them. The temporary auction was very quiet. Nobody spoke. The atmosphere was weird and oppressive. Lin Fei personally came out to be the host. The treasures were on him, and he was the only one who wasn't worried about others stealing them. Lin Fei couldn't guarantee that they wouldn't make a move. Thus, it was best for him to be the host himself. This way he could raise his prestige. Such a good thing was something that Lin Fei was most willing to do. When Lin Fei walked out and stood in front of the crowd, the big shots immediately guessed his origin. Is it this person? He's so daring. When the treasures are auctioned, this person will die for sure. No one can take advantage of our sect. That bastard Limits, he can't even rest in peace, even in death. He actually caused such a thing. Shameless, too shameless. Everyone gritted their teeth in their hearts. When would they appear in an auction together? If possible, they really didn't want to appear here. Who am I? Everyone might be unfamiliar with me, but that's fine. Lin Fei smiled and said, Everyone just needs to remember one thing. The items are with me, and I guarantee that they're good stuff. Who asked me to love money? For example, the power of faith. Lin Fei said with a smile. He didn't care about the cold gazes shooting at him from below and had a leisurely look on his face. The master of the Empyrean mansion didn't come out, but when he saw the scene, he couldn't help but admire his junior brother's guts. There were so many big shots here, and even the master of the Empyrean mansion feared some of them. Thus, he couldn't remain so calm. You talk too much. Hurry up and start the auction. A gray-robed, middle-aged man said with a dark expression. Lin Fei looked over and said, It seems like you're in a hurry. Unfortunately, you forgot one thing. I have the final say in this auction. Since you're in such a hurry, I'm sorry, but you're not qualified anymore. Voila! A force instantly enveloped the gray-robed, middle-aged man. With a swoosh, he disappeared from everyone's sight. Everyone, don't be afraid. I just sent him out. Such a person doesn't have the quality to participate in the auction. Everyone, don't you think so? With just a sentence, a big shot was sent out. This is too, the most inconceivable thing was that they couldn't sense any changes in space. It was too inconceivable. The big shots here were all experts, but they couldn't figure out how the other party did it. Moreover, this wasn't a formation of the Dojo of Limits. That expert was sent out without any resistance. A show of strength. Chapter 380. Lin Fei's small display of skill successfully stunned the many big shots who came to the auction. They could not discern what technique it was. It was neither an array nor a treasure attack. It came stealthily and mysteriously. No one would be willing to try such a move. More importantly, they did not come here to fight. Instead, they came for the treasures. That was the main point. Everything else was superficial. What little brother said is right. Who dares to make a fuss? Scram out now. The auction doesn't need a person like you. Many people stood up to speak for him. More people decided to bid for the item first before doing anything else. They suppressed whatever thoughts they had. Lin Fei grinned. I am very happy that everyone here is a person of character. As for those without character, I can only apologize to them. Scram as far as you can. What did everyone say? All right, I shall not speak any more nonsense. We will begin today's first auction. Lin Fei chuckled. I believe everyone is clear that today's auction will be using faith energy. As for other items, I will not recognize them. I hope everyone will remember this point, lest something unpleasant happens in the future. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master did not appear. This junior disciple brother of mine is extraordinarily daring. The items collected by teacher are being auctioned off for faith energy. I wonder how teacher would feel if he knew. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master was 100% convinced of this junior disciple brother of Lin Fei. He was young, yet he was straightforward in doing things. Not everyone could do that. What was more unfathomable was that the strength of this junior disciple brother was even more mysterious. He was clearly not a cosmos god, yet the strength he displayed was unfathomable. Even he could not discern it. Teacher, perhaps I don't have to continue working hard. Just this junior disciple brother of mine can reproduce your glory in the past. I believe that day won't be too far away. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master thought. The first equipment was a cosmos god weapon. The moment this item appeared, many people immediately started fighting over it. These treasures were targeted by the pinnacle cosmos gods in the past. Every single one of them was priceless, and almost every single household knew about them. Now that they were being auctioned, everyone became restless. Nobody was willing to miss out on such items. The price skyrocketed right from the start. Yi Xian had released the news this time. Those who were hostile to him, even if they had to go all out, they had to buy them. There was no better way to deal a blow to their enemies than this. They all wanted to clap their hands and thank the mysterious man. "You're such a good person." As a result, the scene of two parties fighting crazily appeared in the auction hall. Needless to say, the two parties were enemies, and it was the kind of feud that could not be explained in 2 or 3 sentences. The happiest person was none other than Lin Fei, who was always smiling. Lin Fei chose to ignore the people who had been showing crazy killing intent towards him. Treasures left behind by ultimate cosmos gods were the best of the best. His actions back then had caused countless people to gnash their teeth in anger. But in the end, nothing had happened to him. Even though he had been dead for a long time, he had still schemed against everyone. In today's auction, everyone actually followed the rules very well. Those who had lost their treasures wanted to snatch them back, but they did not dare to do so. Those potential enemies of theirs were eyeing them covetously. If they dared to act, they did not mind helping the other party to weaken their strength. For instance, it was very simple for a few experts to die. Every treasure was auctioned for a very high price. Lin Fei was the one who felt the best. Every successful auction was equivalent to his strength growing a little bit stronger. If all the treasures were auctioned today, the faith energy Lin Fei had would definitely be an astronomical figure. Even the big organizations could not compare to him. As for the prestige he had exchanged for, it was even more needless. It was an astronomical figure. Some of the stronger killing moves could be used as he pleased. He didn't have to worry about anything anymore. What a great thing to be able to do. The auction lasted for half a day. All the treasures left behind by ultimate cosmos gods were auctioned off. Not a single one was left behind. As for who bought them in the end, Lin Fei did not care at all. Instead, many people were filled with envy. They were definitely eyeing this huge amount of faith energy. You might say that faith energy was useless, but to some people it was very useful. It was definitely not as useless as it was described. Ai, what a pity. I was just lacking by a little bit. That year, the ultimate cosmos gods snatched away quite a lot of treasures. Even that item landed in the hands of that person. That's right. Who doesn't agree? The ultimate cosmos gods are indeed fierce. You didn't see it just now. The eyes of those few turned black. Their ancestral heirloom has been auctioned off. Lin Fei felt reassured as he took out the treasures. During this period, some people could not help but want to snatch it, but the moment they tried, they were teleported out. Once again, they left behind the crowd, looking at each other in dismay. What a ghost! After obtaining the faith energy, Lin Fei naturally received a lot of venomous and resentful gazes. At the same time, there were all sorts of threats and killing intent. Lin Fei's reply was always full of smiles. In the end, he attracted a huge amount of hatred. The situation of the auction in the extreme martial school soon spread. The exact amount of faith energy was also publicized. No matter who heard it, they would feel shocked. It was truly an astronomical figure. The events that happened during this period were described vividly, making everyone feel as though they were there. No matter what, this mysterious fellow became famous once again. Junior disciple brother, you have offended many people. I see that they are guarding outside. The Empyrean Skypole Dojo's master smiled and said, however, I wonder how many people you have offended. I think they will be waiting outside. Lin Fei did not care. It is normal for them to guard outside. After all, their treasures have been bought by their enemies. Who would be happy? It would be weird if they did not whip their corpses. Who knows? Those enemies might not leave and might even take advantage of the situation. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master guffawed. Junior disciple brother, you really know how to joke. How about we make a bet? Lin Fei grinned evilly. Forget it. Heaven's Limit Tavern Master shook his head. For some reason, he believed that the moment he made the bet, he would be the loser. Oh, right, there is a cosmos god outside who wants to meet you. His origin isn't simple, and he seems to be here for the item in your hands. Lin Fei understood what it was. Even though everything was auctioned off, in reality, there were still several items that he had not taken out. Those were many command tokens. And now it seemed these command tokens were quite famous, since a cosmos god came over.